hear myself through my headphones. Yes, man. Like, I feel real good about this right now.
Pay attention, because you are now listening to Permission to Speak Freely.
Is it wrong to kill snakes? No, it's random. You think it's wrong to kill a snake if it's in your yard?
I'm killing them. I ain't,
Yeah. So I killed the snake. I didn't want to. I didn't want to kill a snake. I don't like killing anything, but I had to do it. It was a lizard in my house. It's still a lizard in my house. I don't know, like it's like creeping around somewhere they like to hide. So hopefully I find him, and hopefully I can let him or it out back into the wild or whatever. Like, it's just a lot of stuff going on in the
well, I kill every lantern fly that has come across my path so far.
Yeah, they
yeah, man, they're a mob. So,
hey, if you're listening, I'm not sure if I already changed the disclaimer or not. I don't even know if we are going to change the disclaimer, but we do acknowledge that it's the Department of War, right? We acknowledge that I know I do. I don't know if Aaron does or not. Like,
whoa,
he might still be DOD, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm DOW over here.
I'm both, man. If you read it, it says, may be called, and I know I have a DOD ID number.
Yeah.
But yeah, I acknowledge, Department of War, Department of Defense. Both things could be correct at the same time.
You see what I'm saying? I just say Department of War. I don't say war, defense, and all that. That's Aaron, y'all. He going through both of them, man.
You throw me on the bus early, okay?
Got to, bro. I have to, man. That's just part of it. Let's talk a little bit about Department of War, though. So we back. It's been a while since we had an episode where we just went over some stuff. So we got a couple things. We're gonna start with Department of War. It was the Department of War for 158 years. So it's been the Department of War longer than it's been anything else, right? So from 1789 to 1947, it was the Department of War. In 1947, the National Security Act reorganized the military after World War II, right? So the Department of War was then split into different departments. So Army got a department, Air Force got a department, and then the Navy, which already had a department, they all kind of came together and they became the National Military Establishment. That was 1949. The National Military Establishment was renamed to the DOD. Right, here y'all go. Y'all getting like military facts super early in the episode. Why was it changed, right? So it was changed back then because Department of War carried a very offensive, aggressive tone. And it was also appropriate for the 18th and 19th centuries, but less so in the nuclear age when this diplomacy and deterrence became really what we were trying to get after, right? So that's why we chose DOD over Department of War. Why was it changed back now, though, Aaron?
Well, according to with the WhiteHouse.gov statement, they said that this is in alignment with peace through strength. Mm-hmm. That's how we're going to go forward. So it says that it's supposed to be more offensive and willing to take the fight rather than being a defend first posture. So it's more in alignment with the peace through strength and showing that we could fight and willing to engage to meet our objectives.
Okay. All right, so that's there. There's your DOD, DOW history lesson for the day. Don't say we don't ever teach. There you go. Y'all got it. That's credit to the internet, Google, and ChatGPT. All that stuff, you roll it in one, and there you go. Some PTSF facts in the beginning of the episode. All right, now let's also begin the episode with more disclaimers, not just the DOD disclaimer. You might as well tack on like 6 more of those disclaimers, right? the ones we start with, right? The opinions and views are ours, and whoever, nobody else's, whatever we want to call, whatever it is nobody else's, right? Hey, if you're here looking for a reason to, call our commands on us, skip to the second half of the episode. Just go ahead to the second half of the episode if you're looking for a reason to reach out to our commands and our organizations. That's when we get to talking about the stuff that you want to call people commands about. And before that, we go talk about Dame Dash and Adrian Broder and a little bit of like some other stuff before we get into all of that stuff that you're going to be reporting us about. You know what I'm saying? That's my disclaimer. How was that as a disclaimer, Aaron? It's pretty good.
You covered it. I mean, we in the NCR, so we in the hotbed. So
Yeah.
we're not that hard to find. So
yeah, and for the uninitiated, that's National Capital Region. That's for the uninitiated. Luckily, it's an acronym that I know. We be throwing some of those acronyms we be throwing out up here. I'd be like, what?
nah,
We
I ain't touching
started. We started like we would define every acronym before, right? And we wanted at some point when we started the podcast, we wanted to do like a term of the day type thing. We just didn't do it because we get civilians that listen to it. Right. Let's just get right into it though with a Navy, kind of like a Navy thing that's going on. And it's beard. So I got to cut. I'm close to checking into my new command and I got to cut this beard off, man. But what's this new shit about bears, bro? Like it's something new about bears, right? So something came out. People thought it was fake. They thought it was like doctored or AI or whatever, because that's the era we in too, where it's like if it ain't officially released, whatever, right? So it's a new letter. You know anything about this thing?
Yeah, so the first thing you saw, it was like on the official SecDef letterhead saying that everybody with a shaven profile will have 1 year for it to be reviewed, to receive treatment. And if they can't be clean shaven, then to be processed out, I think within a year.
Yeah, it's
so it kind of hit. Yeah, so hit the timelines. I thought it was fake. I think I might have texted you or Damien. I was like, yeah, I think this is like, this gotta be doctored. And like you said, turn around and it's actually real. I know Task and Purpose talked about it, but it's been talked about. It's cyclic, man. We're always talking about this, but this is real. I know the Army had that first review a couple months back. Now it's in the Navy.
Yeah, I thought we were getting closer to like more slack shaven beard standards. I honestly thought the big beard bomb was going to be the opposite way, but that was a while ago. I haven't thought that in a while. But a while ago, I thought we were about to be super lenient with beards. So it says, one of the things that it does say, just for clarity on that third, well, I'll go all three pieces. So military medical officers will provide a written recommendation concerning a shaving waiver to the commander, who is the final approval authority. Service members with an approved shaving waiver will participate in medical treatment plan, right? In a medical treatment plan. Unit commanders will initiate separation of service members who require a shaving waiver after more than 1 year of medical treatment. I have full confidence in our leaders at all levels to provide an accurate assessment of whether retention is appropriate. Right? So that's what it is.
That's a lot.
Yeah. What do you mean is a lot?
It's a lot of words, to say. I mean, we got to read everything. It's a lot of words just saying, be clean shaven or you're going to be processed out. Now, you don't talk about all of the, they didn't talk about the religious exemptions for, Islam, Nordic. So I wonder how those would get reviewed. Is it a separate thing or is it just like, no, it's all encompassing any type of shaven profile to include exemptions?
I think the key in the whole thing is I have full confidence in our leaders at all levels to provide an accurate assessment on whether retention is appropriate. I think that's the catch-all term.
Yeah, but another thing too I want to say is that these things come out and it's not going to be this quick process. It's going to be protracted. I don't foresee, it's my opinion, right? I don't foresee it being something where, this time next year, everyone's probably, I think it's going to be a lot of revisions or a lot of like supplements to this coming on.
Yeah,
because that's a lot of that's our force. We just got recruiting back up. Like it's a lot. So I just say endurance and have some patience as this stuff develops.
Yeah, and did you see the Army? The Army they had a grooming standard update too. Did you see that?
Yeah, they pretty much took all they want everybody to have like shortcuts. They're not like Marines, but like shortcuts. Women and men can have baldies. They pulled back a lot of the nail colors and all that. Pretty much like a lot of plain Jane type stuff.
Yeah. Did they say no lashes?
I ain't peeped that. I mean, I'm gonna get in trouble, but some of these lashes is outrageous. And I know Tish was talking about that a couple episodes back, right? Like, it's y'all fault this happened, but
yeah,
I ain't see about no lashes though.
Yeah, I think I don't know. I think it's another standard that and this is from Task and Purpose. This is another standard that previously existed, but was reemphasized with the directive, coincides with the new Air Force grooming standards that prohibits the use of eyelash extensions, with the exception of a waiver to address natural lash loss. So it looked like
natural lash loss.
I never heard of that, but it's probably
I've
a
never,
thing. It's probably hey, natural lash loss is probably a thing. Like, hey, to anybody suffering with natural lash loss, sorry, shout out to you. I never heard of it.
Yeah, I never heard of it. I mean, I remember John Cena talked about how hair plugs like saved his career, saved his life. I don't know if lash surgery has the same effect.
Yeah, that's like that's like, hey, bro, that's like one of them jakes where it's like, it's just something to say you got, bro. Like, hey, y'all took away the ability to have fake lashes. Nah, if you got natural lash loss, you can get fake lashes. Like, nobody has natural lash loss.
Do you think somebody's gonna claim that disability?
No. Like, no, of course, yes. Yeah. It's somebody now, like, probably reading that shit in the army, like, yo, I got
that's 5%. What happened, man? I lost my lashes out in the field.
How can you prove that somebody don't got natural lash loss? Like, how can you prove somebody don't have it? Like, they just go home and like fuck they lashes up. Like, yo, I got natural lash loss.
I'm hearing so I got some dudes in my mess who got constant jokes. I guess might be like, man, such a no lash having ass. I don't know.
Yeah, bro.
Let me stop.
I honestly didn't even see nothing funny in that Army directive till you said natural lash loss. Like, bro, it's been harsh. And I'll go through some of the harshness a little bit later. It's just been a lot of harshness. I ain't even expect to laugh in this episode, so I appreciate it. You know,
we're going to change that.
Yeah. Hey, how was the McPon change of office, bro?
I didn't get to go. They put the invite out. I didn't get to go. I actually had DRB. Like, DRB season has been booming lately. So because of DRB, 2 DRBs, I wasn't able to go.
Okay.
But the people who went, I saw the pictures. They said it was smooth. For some reason, I thought that it was a doubleheader, like it was change of office, and then McPon, Honea, I thought it was a retirement, but that was separate.
Yeah,
joints.
It was on Friday. Yeah.
Did you go to that?
Nah, bro. I had my own thing on Friday, my own going away thing on Friday. Not saying like it supersedes, the Big Pod thing, but I had my own thing to go to. Some of my sellers were there though. My future sellers. Well, shit, today, as of today, my sellers.
That's you.
It's Monday, so. And maybe it's not Monday. Maybe this episode comes out, bro. I don't know what the hell is going on right now, man. Speaking of McPon though, McPon 17 put out priorities, right? Sellers and family first, technical mastery at every level, and talent management. So sellers and family first lines right up with CNO. Technical mastery at every level is in line with McPon 16, right? And then continuous development and talent management, which is live character, is also pretty much in line with McPon 16. So it's confident, competent, and character. So did you get a chance to look at the priorities?
Yeah, I read it. I mean, and the way you did it, it still tracks the same as the previous McPon.
Yeah.
When I went to that Felix course, the part of Get Real, Get Better, one big takeaway I learned was that, people come into office, you always expect they're going to change things, but actually they really try to make sure that they're keeping previous initiatives going. They just build on it or maybe just emphasize different things. So reading that and then how you rehashed it, it reads the same as the previous priorities, but just different spin on words.
Yeah, you really don't want to wipe too much away. Plus, we done built our whole damn eval off of this anyway, right?
Yep.
The brand new eval.
I'm still trying to make sure that we get the right, flavor of writing and style with that eval too.
Yeah, because at this point, shit, people should have got them by now. Even though I know they pushed the date to November, but the reporting period is now. So
you said should, man. I'd be like should, probably, possibly. I'm like,
yeah, I'm sure. Damn near nobody got their evals back yet. Right? These the new evals. The initiation just wrapped up, right? So wasn't nobody working on evals, right?
Yeah, season. Yeah, I'm still I think there's something called season hangover. Like you get through it, you do it, you like take all the pictures, and you like, whew, like I actually felt peopled out for a little bit, and it was a great season, a great pinning ceremony. But like I don't know, do you like taking the pictures, or is it like, man,
I don't like taking pictures.
breakfast?
Period. I don't like taking pictures.
Like in the moment, but then you see it afterwards, you're like, all right, I'm glad I took the picture. Or you're like, man,
I don't like taking pictures.
back this up.
I don't like taking pictures. I don't like group photos. None of that shit. I hate the group photo shit. Like most group photos, I'm nowhere to be seen or I'm in the background.
Man, you the most introverted extrovert ever, man.
Yeah, I don't like none of that shit. I'm an introvert. I'm just an introvert. Period. Like, but I don't like. Hey, congrats to all of the newly pinned Chiefs. May the odds be ever in your favor. You know what I mean? May the odds be ever in your favor out on that marketplace.
Yeah, the marketplace. I want to give you a shout out. All these new mess caterers.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yo, big up to you.
Yeah, man. I saw all the pictures. Got a chance to see everybody happy and posting and stuff. I have taken some pictures, to be honest, that I liked and I appreciated, and looking back at it and stuff like that. I had a heavy focus on family this year, more than anything else, because it was where my focus was needed for this year before going to another command that's going to be crazy. So that was a big thing for me during this time. Very unique for me, and it'll probably be the only time ever in my career that happens. But hey, shout out to everybody, and I don't mean that like I have a focus on my family. That's not what I mean. But that I don't have as much of a footprint in the season. The initiation. I like having a very big footprint in the initiation. Mine was super light this year because of like I ain't even go to Pride Day or none of that. You know, I was doing stuff with the family.
Yeah. Do you feel all right? So if you were in the season, right? How much of a presence do you think a Master Chief or a Command Master Chief should have in a season? Do you feel you should kind of like, you know, be at the big joints? Do you feel like what's your feeling about us whenever we're actually at?
I think
mess training
all in, man. I think everybody need to be all in. Every chief need to be all in, bro. To everything that happens in the season.
But do you feel like Master Chiefs that we come in a room and we center ourselves, or people will naturally defer some of their inputs or some things if we're in the room?
Yeah, they try to. Yeah, they do. You know, it's expected. I'm always I do when everybody turn to me. I'm like, yeah, what y'all think I would say? Yeah. Like I was actually in a scenario where they want like this initiation. I was in a scenario where they wanted me to be the one. Like, yo, we need to talk to them, and you're here, and you know, and I did it. And while I was doing it, one of the chiefs looked over and he was like, yo, bro. And I was probably days away from checking out the command. But one of the chiefs looked over, he was like, yo, bro, I'm so fucking happy you're here. Like, I'm so happy that we got you, bro. Like, I'm going to know. He was like, I'm going to miss you when you go, bro. But me in my head, I'm like, yo, am I delivering what they want me to deliver? Because I don't do none of that fake hollering, yelling. I don't do that. Like, and I'm not saying that it's fake from other people, but it would be fake for me. You know, so I don't do none of that. So, but it was one of them conversations. We need you to straighten them out, and they doing this. But
sometimes you just being in the room, it does change the temperature. You know, for our season, you know, for National Capital Region for Navy Medicine, we have a lot of Master Chiefs in the region. We all get together from Bethesda, BUMED, Fort Belvoir, sometimes Quantico. And, you know, Said Gaines, he's over at BUMED, right? So, you know, when Said talk, he kind of commands a presence when he talks.
Yeah.
There are times where we be like in our separate chat, like, yo, man, we got to make sure that if we're there, let's just fall back a little bit. Because if not, some of these other chiefs who have some good feedback, some good things to emphasize, to impress upon the new chiefs, they're not going to do it. So there are times Said might be like, hey, man, or some of us will be like, I'm going to come a little bit late, or I'm going to sit this one out just to make sure that the entire group is able to inject their experience and also get feedback from the selects.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if it's intentional, I think it still takes on the all-in aspect that I'm saying. If it's intentional.
Like the level of commitment. Like,
yeah. If it's intentional, I think it still takes that on. Like, you know, so it is what it is. People do act different when Master Chief's around. Like, To me, it's weird. You know what I mean? But people do act different. So you got to take that in consideration. But you still want to be present too. I think it's weird when ain't no Master Chiefs ever around. Like, I think that's weird. Like, it's like, yo, what you don't got to do it no more. You know, and that's with anything. That's with anything in the Navy. Like, we still here. Like, we don't. Was it always just about promoting? You know. So, but I want to, you know, Tomo. So on a couple episodes ago, we spoke on the Tomo situation. The TikToker that got the racist threats. It's funny because some of our conversation that we're gonna have is relative to this too, right? But boy, he got threats, and he made the whole Sinister video about how he gonna get the dude and stuff. And I don't know if this is true or not, but I was on TikTok, right? I don't know. That's probably not the greatest way to start it. But it was a chief on there saying that she was going to DRB for the sailor that made all the racist remarks to the dude. So I'm like, damn. Okay.
Why is that on TikTok?
Why did the chief get on TikTok and say that?
Yeah, I mean, I know we're in this, everything doesn't need to hit the timeline. Like, I remember we were talking separate about, hey, some things about season.
Yeah.
No, I was talking to my friend. Some things about season out the back, right? You could Google, you put a Google search, you find, but I don't know.
You can find everything out about initiation. It's all public. It's public information.
Yeah, but there's still some shock with it. But I don't,
bro.
Like, I'm not knocking a girl who put out the stuff on the DRB. But
you kind of knocked her. You knocked her, bro. Pause.
Oh, you coming? Are you Dame now?
Yeah, I'm Dame, bro. I'm gonna pause through this episode. So the first thing, right? Let me clarify. I don't say certain shit about initiation, even though I know that you could find it all over. Like, you could find it. You could just Google it, right? On your regular phone and find whatever you need to find. I think a lot of just younger sellers just don't know some of the vocabulary, so they don't care to look up some of the stuff anyway. Right?
Yeah.
Outside of that, people have done stuff throughout the years since it is public to just make it worse, right? Well, it's public, so let me just go through everything.
Or
right?
I mean, how many military spouses, whose husband, wife, or boyfriend, girlfriend is going through season, and they're helping them with some of the things that they're going through.
Yeah.
You think they're not read in like that? They still might go talk.
Yeah, my wife, she was circle of trust, man. She ain't even tell me nothing. So
yeah, Amanda for my season, she.
Yeah. Now to the chief who posted, whatever it was that the chief posted, it wasn't much. It was one of those voiceover TikToks, but the text over it was like, when the seller that did that is on your ship and they going to DRB.
Oh,
so it was like, it wasn't too much information about it. It was just,
got you.
It like, hey, I'm on the same ship. Yeah. I mean, I try to, as a podcaster, I try to hit her up, man. She I guess she left my joint on red or something though, man.
And I just want to clear up. Hey, don't listen to Damo. I'm not coming for you, sis.
He came for you, sis.
Yeah,
he definitely came for you, Paul. Yeah.
No, I didn't.
Hey, former Vice CNO Burke was sentenced to 6 years. So it was 6 years in the bribery conviction. So he'd be out soon.
You got him up there.
Yeah, and then
you got him. That was you.
Speaking on coming for
you led that investigation, man. You got it going.
He gonna come for you, bro. Cause
me?
Yeah, all right.
For what?
In 6 years, that's how people that's probably how people talk about Puff, right? Like, but in 6 years, he coming for you, bro. Don't start no businesses, leadership, none of that. He gonna be on you, bro.
You ever seen that one dude on IG, the number one hater, light skin dude with a goatee, and he showed how this dude bombed someone's tomb at grave 22 years later.
Damn.
Because he owed him money.
Damn. That's stupid.
Yeah. That's how long the hate was. They waited. He's like, hey, 22 years later, yo, man, bomb his grave. I don't care.
That's so dumb. It don't make no sense. That person ain't in there.
His family saw it.
Yeah, the family.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
so that's how you'll come for me 6 years later. Y'all remember you.
Yeah, he coming, bro.
One real.
Yeah, he coming. He coming for you, bro. I don't know. But yeah, so 6 years and, who knows? I ain't even really read the story. I hate the picture they got of this dude up here.
That's the picture I told you. They
got this wild picture of him, man. But they say, yes, Ordered his staff to award a $355,000 contract. The next, none of this stuff matter. But yeah, 6 years, bro. 6 years.
Do you think he gets to appeal? I mean, what happens if he appeals and it's overturned?
So yeah, well, I heard some of this might be unjust. So
yeah, I don't want to be part of the internet mob, pitchforks and all that. So
yeah, I heard some of this might be unjust. So we'll see. We'll see what happens when we see it. Another update is on Resendez case, right? Angelina Resendez, a seaman was charged. And his name is public, so you could look at you could look everywhere you want to look, but he was charged. And what we've seen, because the last time we reported that they pretty much said that they couldn't figure out her cause of death. So me and Damon kind of didn't really understand that, but basically that it was multiple things that she could have died from. That's pretty much what they were saying. Not that it was just totally inconclusive, but it was like, hey, she could have died from this, or this. So we can't narrow it down. That didn't take away from the understanding that this person did it, or the idea that this person did it. So he was charged, and it was some sexual assault there, and of course for the murder. So it was murder and sexual assault.
That's
yeah. And this guy apparently, like the guy that was charged, apparently had a history going back through high school of this type of behavior.
So I don't know. Remember we said like bystander intervention. We had that, but then I heard that they changed that language because you shouldn't be a bystander to something like that. But I mean, the tenets were true though. Like people need to be able to be empowered or have the courage to speak and say, "Hey, this person is a creep," or they're doing it. We always say in hindsight, it should never got to this point.
Yeah.
So I don't know, man.
I mean, it was reported. The young lady in high school reported it, but it's like a lot of times in those cases, it's not enough information. Like it's just how, like the way the cop receiving it, or the way whoever you reporting it to, the investigators receiving it, is just not enough information to nail down the fact that this person did it. You sit IDCs. Have you ever set an IDC as a CMC?
Yes.
Right. Kind of and that's Incident Determination Committee for the uninitiated, right? It's sometime it could be like that there, right?
Yeah,
it's human. It's human error and all of that shit.
Yeah, you try to put out all the facts, everything, and then you can still miss.
It was a case that I was sure that the person was guilty, but it wasn't no way to prove it. You know, it was just his word against his word, and whoever could vouch for him word against her and her mom. You know, and he got off. You know, because you're looking for evidence, facts, and intent, and like a whole bunch of other stuff. You know, and I'm sure it's even more intricate when it comes to like legal investigators and stuff like that. It's probably way more intricate than we do with the IDC.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, so and he didn't just have history of like one time. It was multiple incidences where shit was happening. He even had like some distribution of a video type thing too. Like he had a couple things, you know what I mean? So, and I don't know if any of that ever hit his record, you know what I mean, before he came into the Navy. He's a junior seller too. Yeah, so. All right, so let's go. Coming off 30 days of leave, I've come to the realization that I need a vacation, bro. And I just might need your help with this. I've been on leave damn near 30 days, bro, and I just feel like I'm fighting against the 24-hour clock.
Did it feel like leave?
No, bro. No, there's no way that, it ain't.
So was it with Amari, or just getting up just being dad? Like
everything.
What made it?
Everything. Damon sent a text to us earlier, right? And I just, man, I remember we had Will Foster on an episode, and he was talking about getting mad, like doing jujitsu, like he just threw the gloves. I saw that text from David, man, and I damn near slapped my phone, man. Like, and then Damon didn't deserve it. I'm like, damn, another text message, like just more shit, like, and like, so let me give you my notes. I'm tired of everyone. I'm tired of everybody, bro. Everybody,
people out.
Everybody, bro. I went to a fight party that I ain't want to go to, right? My boy's like, yo, you going? I don't want to go, man. I did the Irish goodbye in that joint. I got the hell up out of there at some point in time. Mm-hmm. My going away thing, where we did a going away for me, which we'll probably talk about a little bit. We did a going away for Annapolis, me leaving Annapolis. I tried to get out of that, and that was the day after they had the incident on base. I tried to get out of that. I'm like, y'all know y'all going through it from the incident. They like, nah, I think we might need this. I'm like, damn, man. So, so my question is, am I the problem? Is something going on with me? I don't want to do all of these. It's mad people sending me emails, texting me information. Now we do the pod too. So a lot of people send me information, want to connect me with people, emails, just all this shit. Mm-hmm. I don't want to do none of this shit.
So let's go back, yo. So when you take leave, these 30 days, right?
Yeah.
Have you ever had a day where has Angeline been on leave or been on vacation?
Nah, nope.
Or time off? So she's been working the entire time.
Yep, and her mom ain't been here. Her mom just got back yesterday.
All right. Have you ever had leave where it's just you? You get a hotel or you get an Airbnb unto yourself.
You talk about
and you go
since I've been married, or what you talk about?
Ever?
Yeah, bro.
Since you've been married, let's say in the last 4 years.
Nah. But I haven't had like this long leave in the last 4 years either, where it's pretty evident.
Have you?
Or I haven't been on leave for this long since we had a baby either.
Has that even been a 72-hour period where you were just unavailable?
Nah, bro. And
that's what it is. I mean, Amanda, sorry, my kids, right? She would do silent retreats.
Yeah, I saw her.
But you follow her by herself.
Yeah.
Like even if it's just a Friday, like yo, I'm leaving Thursday night.
Yeah.
And I'm back on Monday. You don't hit me up. Yeah. That works. I tried it for a weekend. It works.
I think this is just me talking for the listeners. I think on the conscience of a woman, a mother, on the conscience of a mother, I think it's a lot easier than on the conscience of a father or me. Let me just say me. Because the mom, I'm going to talk about, matter of fact, Angeline, she contributes to a lot more than me just as a mom, right? Than me as a dad. Like I got shit I want to do. Like I do the podcast still. I still go to the gym. Like, so like some of those times she's still doing contributions. So one of the things I struggle with, right? And then we could talk real. We're going to be talking real through the most majority of the conversation. Mm-hmm. One of the things I struggle with is the guilt of even having the audacity to say, yo, let me take 3 days away. Like I'm already just trying to like be there. And that the whole purpose of me going on leave was to support her and give her a little bit more of a break from like the routine shit that we both get into. So now to be like, yo, I need 3 days. And I've had days where I told her like, yo, I'm not getting Amari today. I want a day. I need a day for me. And I've had those days, but I can't see myself being like, yo, let me take 3 days away from already trying to catch up with you as a parent.
But this is something I've had to learn. You know what I've had going on this past year, right? It's something that I've come to realization, that she came to realization. The phrase, putting yourself first.
Oh yeah, that's me, right? All the way.
But putting yourself first, you will not feel good about it.
I think that's the reason why we talk about it. But I think that's the reason why I don't want to do because I put myself first a lot. Like still doing a podcast, I still put myself first.
But I mean, like put yourself first for your self-care. Like we say, self-care ain't selfish, right? But This is something I'll share something from my journal, right? If you put yourself first, the world's not going to end. If you don't put yourself first, your world's going to end. That makes sense?
Yeah.
Right? So it's like, it's not going to feel good. There's times where you got to be like, yo, I'm not available. But if you message that and you tell, your family, the people who are pulling on you, right, who have access to, who need access to you, it'll soften the brunt, but you're going to have that guilt. But I'd rather have that temporary discomfort, than just going through. Because right now, to me, it sounds like you have not been able to really recharge. You've been off from work. You have not been on vacation, like you said.
But I don't even know that it's her, bro. I think it's like
I'm not
friends.
putting her hands.
I think it's y'all.
So
I think it's all.
Hey,
I think it's all my friends.
I hit you up in the morning. I'm like, yo, you good? But I don't think I've ever seen you put "Do Not Disturb" on your phone.
Nah, ever. I don't. I'm out. Like that's just. I wouldn't do that. Like it's just a new technology thing that I would just not answer.
You should do it.
I ignore phone calls. Like I don't do not disturb to me. Like I'm not going inside my phone and it don't even got nothing to do with the theory of do not disturb. I'm not going on my phone and figuring that out, bro. Now they've added it.
You're missing out.
They've automatically added D&D to some things and I haven't went in to change the settings. I don't do all that change setting shit, bro.
Fam, it's just a swipe down and you put it.
Yeah, bro. I don't do all that, man. It's too much.
I think it worked. I was the same mindset, and I do it now.
It's just honestly, it's just people. So it's like people pull, and I know somebody out there that could relate, but it's like people pull. So I got a young child, right, and all my friends, all y'all, I can say y'all got kids that's like in college and shit now, and I think I think some of my friends don't remember. They got like amnesia. Like they don't remember what life was like when they had a 20-year-old. So it'd be like, yo, bro, can you go to this? Can you come do this? Yo, we got this boxing event. Like, yo, bro, no, I can't. Like, or if I do, I need to bring my wife and my baby, bro. I can't just have 6 guys nights a week. I can't.
I want to go back to Do Not Disturb, man. Would you entertain? I'm trying to get you to convert. Would you entertain? All right, so in the morning, you wake up.
Yeah.
Do you pick up your phone?
Probably just to check some podcast stuff. I'm not dependent on it though.
But I mean, you wake up, eyes open. Is it like you inside the bed, you like this? Or is you wake up, brush your teeth, and then you grab it?
It's funny because you know what, I'm learning this. And for the listeners, I'm gonna put y'all onto this in real time. Aaron will ask a question, right? And if you answer it, but you'll answer it exactly the way. He gonna ask it again a different way to try to get. This ain't DRB, dog.
DRB.
So to be honest, I feel like a seller at DRB. I grab my phone. I grab my phone. Hey, I'ma just come clean, man. I do grab my phone a lot. Like I do grab it a lot. Majority of the days I grab it a lot. Me and my wife, we both turn over in our bed and grab our phone.
All right. So Styles P says something. He was on a hot box on Mike Tyson, right? And he was like, "Yo, would you ever wake up and start a conversation with 2,000 people?"
See, Styles on some other shit. See, that's different.
Hey,
that's different because I'm not posting shit. Like that's different.
But even just looking at it, like you're like taking input from like the socials, the algorithm.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that, but I don't want to get into that. But I wouldn't say that. That's 9 times out of 10. That's not why I grabbed my phone initially.
Okay, but I mean what I'm saying, that's kind of like the sensation.
Yeah, I don't think this therapy session is helping, bro.
Is DRB for real? How can we help you?
Therapy session for like, hey, this what I'm gonna say. I don't feel like I got the R&R that I thought I wanted. My wife tried to tell me that that's the new normal for people with kids and responsibilities. And I don't know, bro. You know, I don't know.
Take a weekend.
Well, this weekend here, my wife's, because you know some of this time you want to share with your wife, right? So my wife's mom is here. My wife's mom is here, and so now we have at least, I think we're gonna have a weekend. So I'm gonna go to the spa thing. It's not just a spa, y'all. It's bigger than a spa. I don't want y'all to think I'm just going to like some spa. But I'm gonna go to this little spa resort. We're gonna have a good time. She bought me the tickets on my birthday. But other than that, right, I don't want to stick on that I think we stuck on that for too long. But other than that, I had a really long week, right? So again, still no great news, right? Real long week. We all did. But we were recording an episode when Annapolis was locked down, right? We had just started recording. So I think the Charlie Kirk assassination happened on the 10th. And then on the 11th, some HBCUs were like locked down. And then we found out Annapolis was locked down, right? And we ain't going to stick to the Charlie Kirk yet because we're going to talk about that later. That's kind of what a lot of the episode going to be about, is some things that got to do with that. So social media happened when Annapolis got locked down. And I hate when social media happens. Like when people just start coming up with assumptions, and they were saying like NSA Annapolis was lying, or the Naval Academy wasn't telling the full story, or just be honest, what's going on. And is it just a Facebook thing that's doing like they not doing that too many other places, people just going off like that. I think is it just Facebook, bro? A little Twitter, a little Threads, but Facebook is the one that's going crazy.
Facebook has, to me, I think Facebook has the biggest ease of the fastest way to share. It repopulates the fastest.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Whether you share it on the timeline, you share stories, right? Really the timeline. I think the biggest demographic, I can't say that because the young folks use TikTok and then
it's the
IG.
age group. It's like the age group of people that just care about, and I'm not saying like that what happened in Annapolis is not something to care about, but it's just the age group of people that just want you to know what they think about every fucking thing, man.
So what age group think that is? Is that
It's us, our age group. People like us, bro. Like millennials, Gen X, millennials, some Gen X.
So you say, Gen X, elder millennials, some people say call, like I'm 82. They say Zennials, but no. So you're saying Gen X,
and the little
elder millennials,
older than us, yeah.
Millennials, and then not Gen Y and Z. Just like if you 80s, 90s baby, those are the ones.
Like all this speculation. Like, yo, wait, let the news work. Me coming off of having a tour there, a command tour, it's close to my heart what's going on in Annapolis.
Yeah.
We were recording. Y'all heard me like, damn, we recording. I'm getting, text messages, people like, yo, you okay? You okay? Like, what's going on? And some of them you okays, I know it's people that generally care, but then some of them you okays is people that want
to see information.
What had happened was we got some of the story right. Reportedly, it's a former midshipman, Bitter, was making these threats. Some insider from me, which is not too much insider, but we had got threats before. A while ago, we were shut down a while ago. I think that as far as the person, and I could be wrong about this, it's not, but I think it's the same dude. I could be wrong about that, but I think it's the same person. But so it was just threats. It was like just virtual threats. However they were made, so Annapolis responded to the threats. Things got thick. It's a little bit more details in there about some other stuff, but I was talking to some of this. So the next day I linked up with the security chiefs for my going away. And they talking to me about some of this. So when you get these threats, when you have a threat like this, people just start thinking that shit is active shooters, right? They might hear like a locker slam shot or like something, hit somewhere. So oh shit, it's an active shooter here. So some of that started happening. So they getting inundated with like phone calls about like active shooters, all this shit. So at some point, and I'm intentionally kind of, not saying certain stuff, but at some point they go access a space in the, in the building. And when they go access the space, it's a midshipman there. And the midshipman attacks one of the security guys, right? One of the security forces. With one of those, I'm not going to say what it is, because maybe you can't say what it is. I don't know. But whatever it is, like a very hard fucking thing. And it breaks on a dude and it hurts him. And the dude's reflex is to shoot the dude, right? So he shoots the midshipman. So the midshipman sustained those injuries, shoulder. and he got injured too. The security force guy got injured too. So non-fatal for both. So they both got hurt. I think it was kind of chalked up that both of them had pure intentions. Like they both, the action and the response weren't like facetious in any kind of way. But so it was one of those just innocent mistakes. I know as other people got personal issues about the security force member shooting the weapon, and it's things like that. And I'm just happy that the midshipman is alive, amongst some other stuff. But that's my team. I got some biases, like you said, you have biases, but I got some biases toward that team, and and I know it's going to be some relationship fallout from this too. But that's a whole nother story. But yeah, so that's part of what happened right there.
Yeah. There was going back to you said about the rate, the speed at which things get shared. Remember, maybe it might have been last month where I'm at over at Bethesda, Walter Reed. They had that drill that kind of went awry, and then like within 30 minutes, I swear, it was already on CNN.
Yeah,
I'm like, it ain't been an hour.
It's crazy, bro.
Like. So
yeah. I mean, I tried to get the tea from. I remember when people were saying that the president had this announcement at like 1400. The White House had an announcement, and the people were saying, "Oh, the president is in Walter Reed and all this." I text you like, "Yo, bro," and like for the listeners, like I try to slide the tea in there. I'm like, "Yo, bro, how's everything going today?" Something like that. And, I'm like, "Yo, you at your job? How everything?" And he like, Nah, I ain't there today. I couldn't even continue with the tea. I think I was like, I was trying to find out what's going on. Knowing he damn well couldn't tell me, but people make all types of efforts to get that tea, man. The relentless fight for the tea, bro. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah. So this stuff is rough, sad. Like so far, man, it's not too much great news. So let's kind of move toward some civilian stuff that happened. The Canelo Crawford fight happened. Did you see it?
I stayed up for most of it. I caught the undercards, and then, man, I took the car on the couch, and then I woke up for the decision. That's the crazy part. I feel old, man.
Yeah.
Saw the highlights, but the undercards were pretty good.
I heard one of them sucked. I heard the fight before their fight was horrible. It was like a snooze fest.
Really?
Yeah, I heard a couple fights before were great, but I heard the fight right before was a snooze fest.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, I saw the ones that was on point.
Yeah, Netflix. I ain't seen the snooze fest. Like 12:40, bro. 12:30, 12:40.
Yeah, I don't like that, man. But then I'm trying to think back in the day of pay-per-view, like, you really was up.
I thought it was like 11 though, like 11, 11:30 or 12, 12:30. So I went to a fight party. My man, he rented out a whole social club or whatever. Dope fight party, good food. I kind of mingled with some people that I came up with in the Navy because my man, he a civilian now, but he was in the Navy. I mingled with a few of my friends who all live close, but we just don't get together that much. And then I went home. I was like, I'm going to get home in time enough to watch the fight from the house. Dude, as soon as the fight started, I was dozing off, bro. I think I might have I don't even think I saw the walkouts. I think I came in on the first round. I dozed off every round, bro. I didn't make it through one round of that fight, bro. I kept waking up. But I knew Crawford was going to win. And I'm happy that Crawford did win.
Did you notice any celebrities that was ringside? Because back in the day, that was, for me, that was more important than the fight. Who was there? I only saw Jason Statham. It's the only person I recognized.
Not during the fight, but I did see post the fight, like Dave Chappelle, Tracy Morgan, Charlize Theron. There was a lot of celebrities out there. I mean, most of the Netflix people gonna be out there, and Dave getting that Netflix check. He getting those Netflix checks, so he gonna be out. He was saucy too. Dave Chappelle. I never see Dave Chappelle sober, bro.
He has no reason to be.
What?
He has no reason to be.
I never see this dude. Then this dude gets up and he gives like Shakespeare level like dissertations. Like
he's not
drunk.
even a comedian no more. He just be talking. It's my opinion. He just talk.
Yeah, he be here October 10th. I'm trying to see him.
Yeah, if Bill Burr come out, I want to see Bill Burr again, man.
Yeah, I've seen Bill Burr live. Another thing I had with the Netflix boxing, I think Netflix took over boxing, bro. And it seems like they doing a great job. Like it seemed like they got a little bit more people talking about boxing than when like Showtime was doing it.
It's the ease of access.
Yeah.
No one, like I know you got the streaming services, man, but like even HBO Max. HBO Max really isn't even a good bang for buck streaming service. What's it known for? You have the legacy shows. With Netflix, at least everyone's got a Netflix account. They finally worked through their bugs from, what was the one fight they had? Or the one event they had?
Yeah, that was the Beyonce Bowl thing, the Christmas game.
What was the one that had the horrible filtering?
I thought it was the Christmas game.
Really?
That's what I thought
it wasn't Mike Tyson and
I didn't have any issues watching that fight. Mike Tyson and Jake Paul.
Yeah. Do you want to call that a fight?
Well, Mike Tyson and Jake Paul.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a fight for me to stay engaged and entertained. Yeah, I would call it a fight.
Is it true that Mike and
Mayweather
and Floyd gonna fight?
Yeah, that's true.
Or was that like AI?
No, Mike and Mayweather, they gonna fight.
That's how bad it is. I thought that was fake.
Nah, bro, they gonna fight, bro.
Who's gonna pay for that?
A lot of people. People gonna watch.
Would you?
Yeah. Well, I think it's coming on Netflix. I think it's coming on legit. Netflix, bro.
That's legit. Two grandfathers fighting.
I'm watching it. Like shit. Like
Mike is what, 58, 57?
Mike shouldn't have fought Jake Paul, bro. He definitely shouldn't fight Mayweather. They not even the same weight class, like a nothing, bro. It's an exhibition fight. Like they just try and get a check, bro. They not worrying about legacy, none of that, man. They just
how much money does Floyd need, man?
How much money do Floyd have? I mean, we always hear that he's like a hostage. Like we always hear wild stuff about Floyd. So I don't know.
Is he rich or is he Dame Dash rich?
Bro,
is Dame broke?
That could be the thing. Dame says he's broke. He's saying he broke. He's saying he ain't got nothing. He got like $1,400.
Nah, because before we went on, I went because they uploaded the interview on the Breakfast Club YouTube.
Yeah,
and Dame was talking about, well, the reason why I'm not really broke, like I played you, like all my money, my wealth,
his family
goes to my kids.
Yeah.
So am I really broke?
Yeah.
And I was like, and Charlamagne was like, well, yeah, you are.
Yeah, yeah. So Dame, this is a flip, right? This is a turn of the table for Dame in a sense, because he went up to the Breakfast Club and he gave them a classic interview some years ago, right? I think like damn near 10 years. I don't know how many years ago, but he gave
like 2018, 2019, something.
Yeah, he gave them a classic interview, and this to me was another classic. It was just a flip because it's like Dame then out Dame now, and it's like now it's almost parody like. And it's one of those, for me, it was one of those somebody got to tell him moments. Like, yo, somebody need to tell him that you don't have it any. Like, you're not. We don't look at you like that no more, bro.
That's what Charlamagne did.
Yeah, yeah. Like, you not him no more. Like, Dame was him. Like, Dame was the epitome of, like, anti-association, anti-establishment as far as the music business. The epitome of like bringing like that street flashy mentality into like the business room, the boardroom and all that. Mm-hmm. Like now it's like, yo, bro, you a lot older. You dealing with some things like, no offense, but you're dealing with some things health related that makes you a little weaker. So you're not as threatening as you used to be. You just not that guy. Your teeth, be coming out your mouth. No offense, because I know he dealing with some stuff, but he had the patch on his eye one time. Like, you got a lot going on now. And well, to me, it's tarnishing. I love Dame. Mm-hmm. To me, some of the visual is tarnishing the legacy that we had about Dame.
Well, let me see how I'll put this. So you mentioned about those first type of like, I don't like saying good entrepreneurs or urban because that's coded, but yeah. I'll say the hip hop entrepreneur, right? So you had Dame, you had Brian and Baby Williams, right? Jay Prince, Master P. You say Master P, Jay Prince, and Dame. Let's just compare the three of them, right?
Yeah.
Do you think Master P like grew. Because you don't look at Master P the same way you look at Dame. Like P ain't trying to do things he was doing at the higher No Limit.
Yeah, P not. Like P and Dame, and for the most part, Dame hasn't been either. It's when you put a microphone in front of Dame and you hear him talk. You know, that's what the difference is.
Yeah. He's still talking like it's 2003. You know what I'm saying? But Cam kind of the same way though. I mean, Cam still talks certain kind of way that it's like, yo, man, come on, you knocking on 50. Why are you talking like this?
I don't want to disrespect Harlem, you know, but
it is a Harlem thing, man.
Yeah, it might.
I'll own it.
Yeah,
it is a Harlem thing.
It might be that confidence that these guys just always had. Like,
yeah,
you know,
not wrong or right, but yeah, it's a Harlem thing.
It was a part in that episode where like Charlamagne made a joke and Dame ain't think it was funny, and like Dame was like, "Ha ha." Nobody's laughing. Like, look at you. It was a point where he was like, I bet my house bigger than yours. It was like, damn, Dame, like this is where we are now, you know? And like a lot of that, like, yo, I don't got to show you if I got it, you know, I don't got it. So a lot of it was Dame trying to do what Dame has done a million times before, but like the world grew up from that. Like all of us, like we all aged, all of us, we all aged and we all matured. And it's like, Dame, you still there. You know? It's like the old bully that like still trying to bully people, but we all grown now, bro. Like
that's the guy who still wears the guy who graduated 8 years ago and goes to homecoming, but still wants to have that same type of like,
yeah, like yo, you not him.
Like like you 2 years removed. Nothing wrong going homecoming. You got to go if that's your alma mater, but the way you show up. Are you showing up like you graduated last year? Or are you showing up like, yo, man, like, you know, my nephew goes there now. Like, how are you showing up?
Yeah.
You show like a guy that's trying to relive old glory.
Yeah, you know him, bro. Speaking of Cam, though, man, did you see the whole it is what it is thing where for the listener, for some of our listeners, these are hip hop culture topics. You know, some of y'all just, I'm telling y'all now, push it about 10 minutes or something like that. We're going to be back to Navy stuff. Honestly, we're going to be back on Navy stuff in about 3 minutes. But like, did you see Cam tell Adrian Broner nicely to get up out of the room because he was disrespecting Stat, baby, Treasure Wilson. He was disrespecting her. Did you see that?
Yeah, I saw the clip, the reels. He gave him like 3 chances and not counting the one that was before they started recording.
Yeah. And that happens a lot, bro. And dudes don't do shit. So it's good to see a dude do something, say something.
Do you like the way he did it though? Do you think it was really like upfront with the money and yo, man, I told you? Or like, why do you have to pay him what do you think?
I mean, he might have paid him because the dude flew out there. He might have paid him because they already had a payment agreement, or he might have just paid him for his time because it was time wasted. I didn't think nothing Cam did in that clip was wrong. I thought everything Cam did in that clip was commendable. From the conversation, it was respectful from everything. I think the second clip after that, when like he was outside the studio and Cam started talking shit about him, calling him Aoki and all that. Like,
I didn't see that.
I ain't like that part because he wasn't in the room no more. And when he was in the room, Cam was like, I love you, dog. I love you, boom, boom, boom. Boom, when he was in the room. So, and again, both of these dudes aren't, no issue, no disrespect. But I felt like Cam could have just left it at that. And I'm sure that was an emotional response, emotional reaction to it. But again, that was even before they started filming. So like all of this stuff being out it's content for sure, right? But I think the first part of it, when he kicked them out, I thought that was a stand-up move and he did what he's supposed to do for the lady in the room, and her boyfriend was in the room too. So I think, he did the right thing there for Stat. But again, like I said, I think the second part wasn't called for.
Yeah, I'm surprised Mace didn't say anything. I thought out of the two of them, I thought Mace would have been the first one to say something before Cam would have.
I didn't. I don't think Mace do too much talking. I don't think Mace do too much talking.
They call him murder for a reason.
Yeah. Yeah, and I don't think Mace he said P. Diddy made me pretty. I don't think Mace do too much talking, man. I think Mace is ready if it happens. I don't think Mace is a talker.
He's not a diffuser. He's just action.
He never came across like that. So I think he watching, seeing what happens, and then it happens. But the situation with Cam did remind me of, and I could talk about it on here, but I think it was last night I saw somebody write a comment about Captain Vestal. You know, we just did an episode with her on Instagram. His name's Charles. I don't remember his last name. His name was Charles. And the comment he wrote, he was saying, why are you using... So first of all, he said FFS, right? He said, oh, FFS, why are you using your gender to get ahead? And I'm like, yo, on that whole entire episode, yo, Amari is screaming right now like she at a weekend concert or something. But on that whole entire episode, she never brought up her gender, right? It's called sex, right? We sex, right? We don't use gender no more, right? So she never brought up her sex. The only time that came up was when we were talking about her being at the Naval Academy and it being like 85% male. But that wasn't even... Yeah. And that wasn't like, this was a part of my struggle when I overcame this or nothing like that. I brought it back just for context one time, but she didn't even never stand on that. Like her, her sex, her gender, whatever we call it, she never stood on that. So for him to come off this clip, and then another thing was, even when I made the clip, bro, like I made the clip and I'm like, yo, I don't want this to read like a woman empowerment clip because that wasn't what the episode was about. And plus, I just didn't want that energy from people in the comments. So even when I made the post where I said like the do both post, it wasn't like I made sure I didn't have like she in there. It was like I can do both. And she didn't say, but he had this negative. So what I did do was I took his comment. You know how people take the comment and then make a reel out of it. So I did make a reel out of his comment and it lived for like, I think it lived for like 45 minutes. I wound up taking it down, man. And all I did say to him was like, yo, for everything we said in this clip, and this was the initial clip we put out about her talking about balancing command and, working out and what gives her motivation and stuff. Like everything I said in this clip, this what you pulled out? But I removed it. I got rid of it because I ain't want to add more gas to it. Other people, I saw somebody comment like, yo, Boomer's going boom. And other people people were saying, and I'm like, I just don't want to add more gas to it. But I also want, man, I just don't want nobody dissing our guests like that, man. First of all, it's one of our guests. Second of all, it's a lady, man. And then third of all, you giving some energy that she didn't give. I see if she was all like, she ain't do none of that. And even if she did all that, who the fuck are you, dog? So.
He's no one. I mean, this is where we at now, right? But how fragile are you to where the first thing out your mouth is, oh, could you see her? Oh, well, she's there because of, her being a woman. That's how I know, he had no interest, he had no attention span in listening to the episode. Because even in the beginning of the episode, you talk about how she came through, her resume, cut her teeth as a swole, the qualifications she did, retorn, everything. Everything was not handed to her. It was a grind.
Yeah.
It was all earned, not given. Right. And then even if you did want to make it a women's empowerment, you'd be fully right to do that. That's great. Because you want to aspire. It does help you to see, if you see yourself where you want to be, it will help you aspire.
He also said like, oh,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it was like, oh, FFS, something captain, if that's what you are. Like, yeah, motherfucker, she's captain.
He wouldn't say it to her face.
Yeah, she's a fucking captain. And I ain't know what FFS meant. I'm looking at Angelique because I look at dude and he's in like, he looked like he in his late 50s, early 60s, right? He got 0 posts, 5 followers. So I kind of see what's going on here. But I'm like, what does FFS mean? I never heard of it. Do you know what FFS means?
No, I was about to. Matter of fact.
No, like, I would tell you, bro. It means for fuck's sake. I never heard that shit, bro.
So him saying that, man, for fuck's sake, bro. Yeah, that's enough.
Yeah.
Hey, can you pivot off him? He good, man. He's dead.
Yeah.
Can you like pivot off him?
For fuck's sake, bro. Well, I mean, when we talk about Adrian Broner, I used to be stationed with his brother. His like brother. And and then Sidney Sweeney brothers in the military. So the question I have for you is, do you have a sibling or relative? Did you ever have somebody on your ship or somebody you were stationed with that was related to somebody that was famous or a celebrity? No. I got to talk through the time because,
I got one of my old guys, his second class I had, he had a brother in the league, in the NBA.
Okay.
No, a cousin in the NBA.
Yeah.
So that was pretty cool. First rounder too.
Oh, nice. You remember the person's name?
Nah.
It is something, in the world of bad news and sad stories, it is something I'm excited about. And for the listeners, y'all know how I feel about movies. So I'm going to go through it. First of all, I saw the movie Weapons. I liked it. But I'm going to go through this. DiCaprio, Tiana Taylor, Regina Hall, Chase Infinity, Benicio del Toro, Sean Penn, in a Paul Thomas Anderson movie. It's coming out on Friday. I think it's going to be the movie of the year. The team is elite. The director is elite. And I'm biased toward DiCaprio. I think it's going to be the movie of the year.
Oh, we know.
Yeah.
We know you're DiCaprio bias.
Yeah, I think it's going to be the movie of the year. The reviews have been amazing. There's people saying it's the best movie in the last 15 years. But you just don't put Sean Penn, Benicio del Toro, and Leonardo DiCaprio in the same movie with Regina Hall and just not expect it to be amazing. And it's directed by PTA, Paul Thomas Anderson.
I think Regina Hall, Regina, not King Hall. I'm about to get my Reginas mixed up.
Yeah, Hall.
Okay.
And
DiCaprio, man. All right.
DiCaprio, what?
Okay.
What? What's up?
No, you're good. He's good.
We could have a talk, bro. We could have it.
I just want to get you back because you be baiting me. I just want to get you the bait. I'm good with him, but I know you DiCaprio.
We could have a talk,
top rope.
We could have a talk, bro. We could talk. What's up? Who you got? You like a Michael Ealy dude.
Hey,
Michael.
What?
Michael, when I'm thinking about good actors, I'm thinking Michael Ealy.
I can't.
You like a Michael Ealy guy.
Michael Ealy got canceled TV shows. Nah, man. Who's my guy?
While we at it, rest in peace to Robert Redford.
Yeah, I peeped that. I didn't realize he passed.
Yeah, rest in peace. But for PTA and Leo and them, I know y'all not gonna do this, but just FFS, don't let me down like Denzel and Spike did. Don't let me down.
Everybody, because I was on Apple and I'm gonna watch it. Was that movie really that bad?
It was disappointing. It wasn't what I hyped myself up for it to be.
Did it have all the Spike tropes?
Yeah, but it wasn't it, man. It didn't have a climax. The movie didn't have a climax. Jeffrey Wright was amazing as always. Denzel acted well. ASAP acted well. They just didn't have the right source material. Bro.
Did Denzel act or did he just be himself in another movie?
I'm not one of them people that think. I'm not one of those Denzel is always himself guys. So I can't.
Even in that last Gladiator trash?
I like that movie. I ain't think it was
that movie was hot ass, man.
Yeah, I ain't think for what it was. It wasn't the first Gladiator, of course, right?
Yeah.
But for the kind of movie it was a summer popcorn movie. I didn't expect much. I mean, they flooding out the damn Coliseum. They got with sharks and shit in there, I think.
Yeah, mutant monkeys.
Yeah.
Come on, man. Denzel in that movie, he sounded straight from freaking, Mount Vernon, Yonkers.
Did he do good, though? Did he perform well?
He's going to eat up the screen anytime he's on. He's going to eat it up.
He performed well. Yeah, he did good. This movie is just, it was one of those, I think Denzel and Spike wanted to do one last joint.
They said it's their last joint, though.
It's not?
There's an interview during the presses. He was like, Spike was like, oh, well, I guess it ain't the last one.
I thought Denzel was retiring after a couple more movies.
Have you heard Denzel's latest interviews, man?
Yeah,
he's different. He really on some old head. I'm gonna say what I want. I really don't care.
Yeah, he been like that for a little bit though.
It's like in your face now.
Yeah.
I'm not mad. I like me. Of course, I'm gonna love that. But he just.
Yeah. Well, that movie ain't it. Highest to lowest. It's just not it. It wasn't.
So it's low.
Yeah. What caught me was the woman that was singing at the very end. She caught me for a few reasons. She's a beautiful lady, and then she sang beautifully, so she caught me. I had to follow her on Instagram. I'm a fan. You know what I mean? So I did check her out. But outside of that, Spike Lee, that was a big waste of time, in my opinion. So a couple good things, right? So today, the day that we're recording, is Constitution Day. So that was September 17th, 1787, Constitution Day. And then another thing, as we kind of thinking about it, we just did pass a Ombudsman Appreciation Day, right? That was September 14th. So those are decent, things to kind of talk about and high points, right? So shout out to all the ombudsmen out there. I know a lot of lives have been made easier for sailors, service members, and their spouses because of ombudsmen. So thank you. And the one thing I could say, since you don't have nothing to say about ombudsman, the one thing I could say is that hold on, let me say it because you ain't had shit to say. Let me say it. The one thing I could say about ombudsman is this: it's very easy to see a command that does not have an ombudsman or an effective. Like, to me, they stand out a lot more. Like, you can see where ombudsmen are needed. That's it. That's all I'm gonna say.
I concur. I said something. I love the ombudsman, man. My ombudsman's great, but it's just, he's building on it, man. I don't need to add on to it. You covered it.
If you Aaron ombudsman, man, hey, put in the application for my command. I'm gonna appreciate you. I'm gonna have you. I ain't gonna be all up in the front of your videos. I'm gonna have you working on your left. Hey, you heard about this dude that landed his plane on a Navy base twice? A California man who illegally landed his small craft aircraft on a naval base twice and stole a Navy truck and pled guilty to federal charges.
How he did it twice?
So dude's 37, right? He pled guilty to a count of theft on government property and illegal entry into a naval installation, man. So it says he flew a Glaystar airplane, a home-built kit airplane. It's popular among hobbyists to San Clemente Island, October 2023, and landed it on a U.S. Navy airstrip without permission. At the time he received a signed letter and notified him as a federal crime to travel to San Clemente Island without the Navy's permission and instructed him not to return. But on April 6th of this year, military authorities say he flew his plane on the island again and landed it without permission. While on the island, he stole a Navy-owned Ford F-150 truck and drove it around the island, crashed it into locked gates that blocked off certain locations. He wasn't detained until the next morning when he was seen on security footage walking around. Officials discovered he had driven the truck onto unpaved terrain and got stuck. His attorney did not immediately respond. And they said that his intrusion cost the base nearly 500 man hours and resulted in a $500,000 loss to the Navy. We go get the levels up.
Hey, my brain automatically went to, I had to write that sit rep.
Yeah.
That's how my brain like, oh, yo, peep this. I writing that.
Yeah, that's crazy, bro. That's all. That's it. That's the only place your brain went was there.
Prior OS, man. Like, I ain't writing that shit.
Yeah. That's wild, bro. That's just a funny story. Another thing, and I want to know what your interest is in it. UFOs and UAPs. Are you interested at all in UFOs and UAPs?
Yes, I'm not gonna go crazy with it, but I know, like, it was a couple years ago. It was flying, and it was like they didn't confirm or deny. They was like, oh, something. Just say it.
Yeah.
So I want to know what is actually past Roswell. There's some stuff out there, but I'm not going to be like that person on the Netflix documentary binging about the UFOs.
You believe in like extraterrestrial life and stuff?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Yes.
So in the news recently, PTSF, we always, every now and then, I bring up UFOs. I don't get much out of Damon when I bring this up, but 3 things been in the news this week. One of them is like this dude, he got this like life form from a crashed meteorite or something. He driving around with it. It's crazy, right? Like, it's like in the backseat of the car. It's growing. It's adapting. At first, it couldn't like adapt to the sunlight, and like it's growing, it's adapting, it's moving. Yeah, it's a life form. It's like this.
How can I Google this?
It's all over. Just fucking Google it. Like, how can you Google it? www.google.com.
I can't. You want me to do it right now?
No, you can't. You know. But yeah. So it's this dude walking around with like he got this thing, man. It's you got to see it. It's interesting. It kind of looked like the Venom, symbiote?
The symbiote?
Yeah.
The symbiote.
Yeah, it kind of looked like that, right? And then there's another video that recently came out with government officials or whoever it is. They talking about this thing that was in the sky, a UAP. And we shot one of our like killer missiles at it. And all it did was deflect the missile. You know, and it just kept moving on course. And then it had like these nodes come off of it. And they just came back on it. And then they never came back on it. They just came back into like its field. And then the shit just kept going. But this missile we got, and I wish I could say the name of the missile, but it's one of our like ones that if it hits you, it hits you. You know, it's going to destroy shit. It just bounced. It just deflected right off of it, bounced right off of it. That's another thing in the news. And then this other thing is it's a Chief Wiggins from the USS Jackson. And you had to see this video because it's been floating around for a while. And this was recorded at ICC-1 on the Jackson, where it was a UAP, and it like came out of the water, like onto the surface. Well, it was kind of hovered above the surface, and then like 3 other ones came up like nodes or whatever, and they just like disappeared, like just on some fast like disappearing stuff. So it's like some footage. So it's a lot of alien shit going on right now, bro.
I'm amazed you find time to look at all this, man.
Find time. I mean,
you make it time for it.
When I wake up, I grab my phone and I see it right there on TikTok, bro.
There you go.
You know what I mean? As soon as I wake up, the first thing I do.
Protect your peace, man. You'll be talking to aliens first thing in the morning, man. Get some quiet time.
Yeah, man. Bro. You ain't seen none of this shit about none of these aliens, bro?
Man,
you didn't see that the Navy saw a UAP a couple years ago.
Man, I have been unplugged for about 2 weeks.
All right, well, let's go some questions. Let's go some
It's all right. Well,
yeah, let's go some questions from listeners. So somebody, and this not even a question. So I'll put questions notes, right? Sometimes people just reach out to us just to talk to us. So this dude said, and this was on actually a comment on YouTube. It said, "Hello, I know you guys don't make this decision, but why does sellers get promoted and have to wait 6 months, a year to get paid at the new rate? They doing the work at the new rate. Why not get paid? And if they get in trouble, they could get demoted 2 rates down since they haven't started getting paid. That's horrendous." I said I would share this on the episode. I totally agree. I don't like it either. You know what I mean?
You know why I'm the wrong person to ask this question to.
You might be the right person. So what's up? It wasn't a question. Man. It was a statement, but what's up?
Well, why can't get paid after?
They just mentioning it. They not really asking because he came back with the answer, like the legislative answer, but he's just bitching about it. But if you want to bitch, I could bitch with you. I don't like it either.
You know why I'm mad? I was tight about that.
Listeners don't though.
You trying to bait me?
I mean, you're here. you here?
Okay, all right. For example, right, yours truly, right, picked up Master Chief. I ain't get paid 15 months.
Yeah.
But that's the legacy because I know I could hear like, my friend Leslie, she's like, look, well, hey, bro, I got paid 13 months later too. I'm like, why? The marketplace says you get paid when you're doing the duties. I was doing the duties.
Yeah.
Pay me. But now your legacy. I was like, all right.
Yeah. It is what it is. So what's your thoughts about junior? What's your thoughts about like junior sellers not getting paid and then getting busted down? And they could be potentially busted down 2 ranks and all that. What's your thoughts about
that? I don't like it. I think you put you pin, you get your paid right when you start doing duties.
Yeah, I agree.
Period. Because it's double jeopardy. Like, okay, you get in trouble. You're not E5. You back to what was he? E2?
Yeah.
Nah, man.
E3,
nah.
E2,
yeah, nah, man. I don't agree with that.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, we feel your pain. Is this another statement from a listener? Again, not a question, a statement. It says, because a lot of people tune into you guys, I wanted to share this experience, especially if anyone plans on getting out. A lot of the guys I work with ask how much it costs to have my kid, especially with TRICARE. It's something worth seriously considering when thinking about these benefits. My son was born 3 months early this year, and my wife had an emergency C-section. That alone was over $70,000. Our son, a micro preemie, racked up over $1 million in NICU cost. TRICARE covered 100% of it. When I shared that, a lot of people were shocked, and it really made them think twice about wanting to get out the Navy.
So, I mean, you talk about recruitment tension. You ever seen those infographics where they talk about what you make as your base pay, and then it accounts for all the benefits for education, military discounts, medical, all that stuff. It does add up. People say, "Oh, you're losing money." All right, you say you're losing money, but what if the longer you stay in? But I'm like, you're not having to pay for this stuff. My two oldest had braces.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I ain't paying anything for that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it does add up. People talk about, I can't deal with this. I can understand that, but it's not smooth sailing. It's not an easy ride once you hang it up.
Yeah.
You can make it so, but hey man, I'm not a guy that tells you you're dumb for getting out. I'll never say that. But I'll say you're dumb if you're not planning accordingly or just thinking that the transition, whether you separate and or retire, is going to be, it's a cakewalk. It's not.
Yeah, shit ain't cheap. And just like the daycare cost with the my CYN, the CCYN or whatever it is, with those benefits that we get, it helps us out. I can't imagine not having those benefits though. You know what I mean?
I want to talk about the college piece, right? Now that I have 2 kids in college, the mother, we made decisions as a family that she was going to use the GI Bill to finish some masters and some certs. That's what we made decisions. It was great. My oldest, she got the remaining of it, right?
Yeah.
Whenever I do CDBs and I'm talking to folks, and you got that section where we talk about post-on level transferability, I tell folks imagine a scenario where if your kid, let's say Amari, right? Let's say Amari gets a scholarship, an academic scholarship.
Yeah.
She's not even touching your GI Bill, right? Yeah. She could do that, and then she get a GI Bill, or she could double dip.
Well, she can't because I used my GI Bill already, but yeah.
Okay, but in the case, let's say she could double dip. What if, she was in Texas and they got with the Hazelwood or the Greenwood Act?
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to remember.
Yeah,
right?
Whatever one of them. Yeah.
Yeah, you ain't touching it. College is expensive, man. They're really expensive. So, if you think about that, you're trying to build generational wealth for your kids.
Yeah. Yeah. And then, like I said about the daycare, man, there I go thinking that shit was expensive. But I got some good, you talking about $70 to $1 million for premature baby, dealing with all those costs. That's crazy.
I got to do better about that.
Yeah. I do have good news about daycare though. Amari did get accepted into the CDC. So she's going to be going to the CDC on the base that we're on. And hopefully that's good news, right? Hopefully that's good news. But yeah, she's going to get accepted. She's going to start there on a base that I'm about to start working at. So everything kind of lines up perfectly. And we're going to be saving like over $2,000 a month on daycare.
$2,000?
Yeah. Well, that's not counting the value that, let's say that, a value of over $2,000 is really probably about $1,100 we're going to be saving a month.
Nice one. Nice.
So let's go from there because I'm going to talk a little bit more about this daycare thing, but I want to bring us into what happened last week with the Charlie Kirk murder, assassination. So I want to talk about that, right? That's kind of why we decided to have a conversation, and I'm going to get into why I'm even talking about any of this and things of that nature, right? So that's why we here. This is going to connect, right? This daycare related, I promise it's going to connect. A friend of mine is also looking at daycare options for her child. And one of the facilities that she's looking at, it exposed the bias of hers to me. And I was totally against her bias, right? So here's her bias. The daycare had male care providers, and she has a daughter as well. And she wasn't comfortable with male care providers changing her daughter. And I was against that bias. I thought it was a bias. I thought it was unfair to the males, and I was against that bias. What are your thoughts just on that?
I can understand it.
I can understand it too.
Yeah,
I just disagree.
Why you disagree though?
Because they go through the same. They
training,
should go through, and that's why I said.
the same level
That's why
of
I said this
trust.
connects with a lot of what we about to talk. But they should go through the same qualification standards and training as the women, right? I mean, we got
True.
women changing our sons.
Don't we have it where CFLs, a person getting their BCA, they have the option of getting a female observer?
Yeah, just like if you getting a massage or something, you got the option of getting a male or female masseuse. Or
I mean, do you think it's necessary the person's vetted, trained, and trusted?
What, child care provider?
No, I'm talking like across, like whether it's like the example I said about, the example about the, sorry, bro, the example about the sorry, I can't think. The example about the person doing the BCA.
Yeah, but that's a false parallel because we and people do that a lot when people have debates. Like you bring up a something else that's a false parallel to this. Like this, we talking about daycare workers, right?
Mhm.
Like CFLs, they go to school. Like CFLs go to school, then ACFLs just get qualified. Daycare workers, they got some type of license. It's something there that says that they can work in a daycare. It's a chance that the ladies could be fucked up too. It's a chance that the ladies could be sickos too.
Well, maybe because the percentage of abuse from those providers, maybe it tilts more towards the male demographic.
I don't know that. Like, I just know that it's a bias. You know, I'm not saying that the person is wrong or not. And some people might not agree with me. You know, I just know it's a bias. It's an unfair look at the person just because of their sex. Just because it's a male, it's a higher chance that they're going to do something to my kid that's a young girl versus the 45 women that work at this facility.
It's tough, man. Because now I'm trying to think now, like if you know, if my girls, if I was put in the spot right now where I'm putting my girls into a daycare, I might say, hey, I have no problem with a male caretaker. But then if I'm actually in the moment doing it, would I feel the same way?
So what problem would you have with the male caretaker? For the listeners, this is a moment of quietness.
Sorry, man. I was thinking, man. Sorry,
I'm debating on if I have to edit out or not.
Nah, I'm just thinking I wouldn't have a problem. I wouldn't, because okay, if I was babysitting someone's daughter, I'm changing their diapers, right? I'm trusted to do it.
Yeah.
Just because I'm a man and that's a female child doesn't automatically make me some type of predator, potential predator.
Yeah, it's unfair.
They got fit. Yeah. So I mean, you can't tell how to feel, but,
right? Yeah.
You know, me, I'm not gonna have that. If a person is trained, vetted, trusted, all this, then yeah, you are going to take care of these children.
Right. All right. So that there, right, in a nutshell, is how I feel about biases, right? I'm not mad at the person that has it. I don't agree with it. And that's me, right? I don't agree with that type of shit. Like, that's just who I am. All right. Now let's talk about Charlie Kirk for a second. First of all, let's just talk about the information. Let's get into just what happened. And I'm leaning on you about that, what happened on September 10th. I'm leaning on you for that, Aaron.
Okay.
Well, before, let's start there. Yeah.
All right. So Charlie Kirk, he was a political commentator. He started the.
What happened on September 10th?
Oh, so he was speaking at Utah Valley State University, and a gunman, an assailant, shot him through the neck, and he died. Assassinated. He died, and then after that, the response was what's hit a nerve because Charlie Kirk, he's a polarizing figure for a lot of people.
Yeah, so that's what happened on September 10th. That there, in all like context, is to me is unacceptable, right? Like for a person to get out anywhere on a grassy knoll or whatever and think that they have the ability to take somebody's life away from them and their family. That's totally unacceptable. I totally disagree with that. Like especially in that, like, yo, you just woke up today with a rifle and you're gonna go and assassinate somebody. That's wrong.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, human life, humanity. I might talk about this later. You can't. It's a life. There are two girls that don't have their father. A woman doesn't have a husband. Right. Regardless of how you felt, how you feel about what they say. Yeah, I'll never condone anything like that, regardless of how a person might feel about their politics, what is it?
Ideology.
Ideals. I thank you. Ideology. Sorry, tongue tied tonight, right? Yeah. So
yeah, that was that's not commendable at all. And it's also something that shouldn't be celebrated, in my opinion. I don't think death in any kind of way should ever be. Let me not say that. I don't think death, for most cases, should be celebrated. My moral code. I'm not celebrating a death. I'm not throwing a party because somebody died.
Yeah. Anybody who had to take a life, I don't think they don't go around celebrating it.
Right.
The rightful use of deadly force. People would have to go through counseling, and that's something that's with them all the time. But for this case, for his murder, because he was so polarizing for a lot of folks, right? It caused, it was like, well, why would he care about me? Or that's how they felt. It's layered.
Well, like you said, and then the dude named Charles, who I was talking about earlier, you said he wouldn't have said that to Captain Vestal. We in a different time now where people spew shit on the internet that they would never say in real life. So even some of what we seeing on social media is like things that people wouldn't say in real life if they're in front of you. I had a dude on my first ship who was he was the most bashful dude on the ship. And we used to have these type of talks about like social injustices or, different talks back in my days of like going back and forth with people about it. And he used to be very quiet, but he would jump on the social media like later and go on these tirades of, social media shit, storms of shit, right? So that it's called like digital courage or something like that,
I mean, you get behind a keyboard or you start swiping. It's a level of access that not level of access, level of security that you get because you can't get touched.
Yeah.
People, the screenshot, you might fear that, but getting touched, like that gives you that power in your back. Like, I'm good. I can say whatever I want.
Yeah. So again, definitely unfortunate and do not condone or will celebrate that ever. But when did you learn about Charlie Kirk and why?
Before this happened?
Yeah. Like how long ago?
I've since probably the last 5 years. Since 2020, I want to say. Social commentary, kind of a lightning rod. He's in the conservative talk space.
Yeah.
He's been viral for years, going on college and going on forgot the YouTube series where you put one person in and they debate a whole gang of people.
Yeah, where you put one person in a room full of people that think different.
Yeah. So I saw him in that type of stuff, man. Him, Candace Owens, was it the InfoWars dude? Forgot his name. That's when I first knew of him.
Okay. So I heard sound bites. Well, let me go back. I didn't know who Charlie Kirk was when it was announced that he passed away, right? I didn't know who he was, couldn't put a face to the name, couldn't put thoughts to the name or nothing like that, right? So I was uninformed about who he was. He never came up in my algorithm or anything. Now it's a bunch of Charlie Kirk in my algorithm. But what I did hear was, right, I heard sound bites. I heard his take about like the black pilot, the DEI take about thinking about your safety before getting on the flight if you knew the pilot was black. I did hear that before. I also heard a sound bites about black people being better off during slavery. I heard that before too. And my mom told me about a guy that she used to watch go to colleges and debate liberals and leftists. And all she told me from that, right, was that he was conservative, he was pro-President Trump, and he may have been a catalyst to President Trump winning the election. Like he definitely was helpful toward everything that was happening. But I didn't pay much attention to any of those things. I just caught a couple sound bites from different things and some information, but never knew that it was him who said it all. When it all came together, I was like, oh man, this is the guy my mom been telling me about. But when I did hear about his assassination, because we came on last episode and we talked a little bit about just America and the state we were in, but we were also coming off, and I said it there, I was like, we also coming off September 9th. And that's when the woman was murdered. She got a very hard name to pronounce, so I don't want to butcher it. But she was murdered on a train. So I'm like, oh man, this is back to back. So that was like every kind of feeling that I had about everything that was happening at that time.
Yeah, but when do we ever? I'm not trying to what about us. When do we ever get a break? It's always because every year there's something.
Yeah.
Right. But for this one in particular, because of his level of influence and the proximity to the president, the commander in chief. I know him and Vice President Vance are actually very tight and were very close. Yeah. That's the reason why it's been elevated. Also, Secretary Hegseth, it's elevated because of his proximity to those offices.
Yeah. Now, when and how did you find out that he was assassinated?
My oldest told me from TikTok.
Okay.
And I thought it was like maybe a lie, but she's like, she saw it and she texted family chat like, hey dad, Charlie Kirk was killed. I was like, what? That's crazy.
So you found out about it from social media pretty much is the root of the way you got your information.
Through my 20-year-old, yep.
And TikTok at that. All right, so I found out on my Facebook timeline. I open up Facebook and I just start, you kind of open up Facebook, you start seeing different things. Mm-hmm. And I didn't even know yet that it was assassination. The first person I saw was one of the people who didn't agree with his thoughts. And then the second person I saw was, the second like 2 or 3 people were people that did agree with him. And I thought, honestly, I thought it was a televangelist or something. I thought it was a pastor or something. The way that the people that did agree with him was talking, I thought like a pastor died because they would talk about man of God, like just all this stuff. I'm like, damn, like was this dude like then his name to me just sounded like I heard it before in the televangelist space. But then I started seeing discourse on Facebook, like people butting heads, like going against each other. And all of this was happening on Facebook, people saying, yo, I don't care. People, this, that. So it was a lot of discourse happening on Facebook. So that's why I started to see it. And then it started like my curiosities got spiked because again, like I said on this podcast a million times, it was like hot or cold. It wasn't like it wasn't too many people in between on what they thought. And that's where I think discrepancies happen, where it's either one way or another. And you know how I feel about the 2-party system. Like I don't think that it makes anything better. Like that's my opinion.
And the way it wasn't always like that.
Right.
I mean, it's excuse me. It's so there's no in between. There's no purple.
Right.
Either red or blue. I try to be purple. I'm more blue, self-admittedly, but I try to be purple because I want to make a concentrated effort to fight those biases and to pop that information bubble that the algorithm could doctor up for you if you're not mindful and careful of it.
Yeah. And then I wasn't expecting the military's response. And I'm going to be transparent here. Even just talking about it like right now, you know, we don't know how the military will respond. Like some of the military's response to this was surprising enough to me to make me think like some people might not have done or said certain things if they knew it would be responded to this way. It's like teachers, you know. Well, I ain't gonna get there yet. Let's go to like, why did it take so long for us to have this conversation? The first one was we were already booked, right? We had a guest lined up. Definitely couldn't pivot. It was prep going into that guest, and you know, we definitely wanted to have that conversation. And the other one was like, I'm not a fan of gas and the flame when it comes to like hot topics and social media, right? So let's wait until the smoke clears. And then for the audience, if anybody's like triggered by anything, just give me grace. I'm just talking. I'm going through my thoughts. But like I said, I'm not a fan of gas and the flame. I want to wait until the smoke clears a little bit. A lot of people, they flock to like the hottest topics. And sometimes they just get in there just to be there early. Like, and they don't have nothing to add to it. It's nothing for you to take away from their conversation. And I knew at the time I didn't have anything to add because I wasn't necessarily associated to anything that had to do with it. What got me associated to it and what I think the Permission to Speak Freely platform would be associated to it would be the fallout, like the military's response to the discourse on the internet. Like that's where I think my association came to be to all of this stuff. You know, did you have any initial association or response feeling about this all here?
About the man or his murder?
About what was happening on your timeline or anything like that?
It was expected.
Mm-hmm.
I fully expected because knowing some of his belief stances and how it's going to land with people, I fully expected that. The speed at which it happened, I didn't expect that, but that's maybe me being a little naive. But it just felt like 2015 Trayvon, or if that was even the year for Trayvon, or 2020 George Floyd.
Yeah.
You know, I expected that type of, that's where we're at now. That was like the canon event that happened where it really is just, I expected that type of division with it.
Yeah. So that's what I saw, right? And for me, like these are all like everybody that leaned one way and leaned the other way in my timeline have consistently leaned either way. Like it's never been symmetry between the way that, you know, people lean. So the fallout from this unfortunate event from the eyes of the service member, well, me as a service member is what I really want to discuss, right? So service members started posting, right? So some of them were sad, some of them were sorrow-filled, and then others didn't care, right? So I didn't see any posts. I didn't visually see any posts that celebrated his death, right? I didn't see anything that I could look with fair eyes and say they celebrated. I did see people saying that they weren't mourning the loss. And like I said, I personally believe the manner in which he's not here anymore is unacceptable. Like I just don't agree with that at all. But I did see people saying I'm not crying about it. But I didn't see anybody like clap or like celebrate. That's from my visual. Did you see anything different?
No, that's the same. My circle, my timeline, as far as friends and family and all that, nobody said, "Oh, good riddance." It was, that's a tragedy. As far as anybody being murdered, it's a tragedy.
Yeah, but
they still stood fast, whether they rocked on what he said, or if they were like, "No, what, I do not agree with his stances while he was living."
Right.
That does not going to make me celebrate his passing, his death, his murder, because I don't rock with that. I'm not shedding any, they said I'm not shedding any tears, but, I will mourn how he passed and the loss of a father and a husband to a family.
Yeah. So then this discourse pretty much gets to like, I'm gonna say fever pitch, right? It gets to a point where now leaders of our services got to step in, right? I think the Secretary of War said something, but I do have what the SecNav posted, and that's what I saw first. So Seknav said, I'm aware of posts displaying contempt toward a fellow American who was assassinated. I want to be very clear. Any uniformed or civilian employee of our Department of the Navy who acts in a manner that brings discredit upon the department, the U.S. Navy or the U.S. Marine Corps will be dealt with swiftly and decisively. Right? I saw that. And, you know, I think a couple of things, right? People really started getting disciplinary actions taken against them, allegedly, right? It's like a story of this Marine Corps captain and even like, you know, some civilians like teachers and stuff. So it's people that's really getting disciplinary actions against them. And I think for me, I didn't necessarily know exactly what UCMJ article that was being violated, right? I did see a lot of people saying it could be conduct unbecoming, right? So, and then it started to be where it's like you a uniformed service member, you can't say everything, you can't glorify everything. So I did see stuff along those lines. And I think what helped me a little bit understand a little bit more was this lawyer, his name Cody Harnish. I want to shout out to Nikki MGTV because that's how I found the soundbite, but I'm going to play it real quick. I'm going to play something from Cody real quick.
A Marine captain is in some hot water because he posted this about Charlie Kirk. Now, despite your position on Charlie Kirk or political violence in America, the First Amendment protects this type of speech. But when you're in the military, yes, you still do keep your First Amendment right, freedom of speech, but the breadth of that right is more narrowed, more limited. It's not altogether erased. So does this violate the UCMJ, and what type of actions could happen to this officer? Well, Article 88 is specifically for officers, contempt towards officials. Now, under the rule, Charlie Kirk is not considered a public official, not by the definition. He's a public personality. Was a public personality. So Article 88 won't apply. Now, is this Article 133, conduct unbecoming of an officer? Now, under Article 133, conduct unbecoming an officer, the gravamen of the offense is that the officer's conduct disgraces the officer personally or brings dishonor to the military profession in a manner that affects the officer's fitness to command the obedience of the officer's subordinates so as to effectively complete the military mission. Is this going to hurt his military mission or the military mission? Is it his recruiting mission? Or is it the mission overall? Now, was it advisable? Absolutely not. Does it violate the UCMJ? Maybe. What do you think? Should this be punishable under the UCMJ? In my personal opinion, this officer should be counseled, drink water, and Charlie Mike.
So that was the context from that I got. So it clarified a couple things. So it looked like a fishing trip to get to that UCMJ violation, right? Yeah. You know, and I'm not, you know, I ain't even saying it in jest, like literally like, all right, so it looked like he found something there. And the guy got from reportedly, right, and this guy Cody actually shared it. He's a lawyer. He used to be a JAG. I think he said it. I can't remember if he said it on there, but
I remember in the video I saw some like Navy, you could tell some Navy JAG.
Yeah.
Like stuff was in the back. Yeah.
So he spoke to the fact that this guy did get in trouble. He got fired, right? Not necessarily a reduction in rank or not like that, but he got like fired. And when he got fired for like the post that he posted. And of course it was I don't have it, but it was an anti-Charlie Kirk post. And I don't got the context for it. But he shared it, and a couple of specifics from that was he shared it on like Instagram, but he shared it with his close friends. And then another thing from there was that even though he shared it with his close friends, it was still on his official DOD page, right? So that's kind of the story there, what happened with him. So whoever was in the close friends is the person that reported this, right? So that's kind of how that worked. So
doxing.
Yeah. So that happened. Now I'm gonna go to. So you got any thoughts on that?
So I wish you could roll back the clip the audio when he's talking about he had language talking about affecting the ability to command troops or to lead troops. Did you catch that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So just thinking about having the opinions, right? Okay, we in leadership. You can have an opinion, but understand that your level of influence with your opinion could land to the people that you lead and advise a certain kind of way. It's my opinion, right?
Yeah.
If it's known that my LPO, my chief, my divo is like strongly against this type of, has a very strong stance, and I'm on the other side of that, right? A sailor or whoever might feel like, you know what, I'm gonna be held back because I have an opinion that's starkly against theirs.
Yeah.
So when I heard that made me think about something for me. I try to say that I can have an opinion, but I don't want to have my opinion be known or land in a way to where people who outwardly don't agree with some of my stances feel that I will not try to personally or professionally develop them.
Yeah.
And ultimately the mission. So maybe with that Marine captain, maybe him being fired, maybe his opinion being so strong and so outward like that, maybe the reprimand is like, hey, there's a possibility that would affect his ability to lead across, everyone of opinions and ideals and ideology. I can't talk tonight, but yeah, as far as their opinion. So maybe that's one thing to think about.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think things like that, I think it helps when things like that are investigated. That's just a personal opinion. But I get it. You know what I mean? And that's not me speaking from any side of the coin. I think it's a couple ways we got to figure this out. We got to figure out like who's determining that, who's determining if this person could lead these people or not based off their opinion, depending on whatever their opinion is, not necessarily even talk about Charlie Kirk. Like who makes that?
It's still going to be the human element. It's going to be a human element. You're not going to have a metric.
Yeah.
Or a formula like, hey, if you do this, then it really is based off, I don't want to say groupthink, but I think it is.
Yeah, or whoever's above you, or whoever's above that person. Yeah. Like that, like them alone solely saying that, like you might go to the team. And again, that's not got nothing to do with this specific thing. You might go to the team and the team like, oh no, like we straight. You know what I mean? And in some scenarios, the team might be like, no, and it's happened before, like in sports and all, where the team is like, yo, no, he was our coach. It's like, no, we had to let him go. He wasn't good for the team. Now sometimes the team can't see the forest past the trees. You know what I mean? So it kind of is what it is. I think that's the right way to say it, right? The forest past the trees. Sometimes the team can't see it.
It's going to land. We know what you mean.
Yeah. All right. So let's go to like a little bit more context from him, right?
Freedom of speech in the military. Yes, it still exists. It's just more narrowed and limited. Hey, I'm Cody Harnish, UCMJ attorney, former JAG in the Army. The courts have consistently held that you do have the right, the freedom of speech, your First Amendment rights. But it is more limited, it is more tailored, and must be balanced with the paramount considerations of having an effective fighting force. US v. Wilcox, for example. A soldier was posting white supremacist views online. Really offensive stuff. He even invited a CID agent to a KKK rally. And the court said, although those views and posts were offensive, they were still about social issues, about political issues. And therefore, even being distasteful, they are exactly what the First Amendment was designed to protect. And the military wasn't able to prove a, quote, direct and palpable connection to the military mission or military environment. You don't automatically lose your right to speak about controversial topics. If the government wants to criminalize your speech, they must prove a real mission-related impact, not just that someone was offended.
I just saw a crazy Bill Burr clip, man. Yeah. Forgive me.
So that's a little bit. What is it? The whole one about the KKK person and the HOV lane?
Yeah, that one. He's like, why are you defended? Well, we have to make sure that everyone's able to speak. He's like, oh yeah, he saw what's going on. Yeah. That clip. Yeah.
So he added a little bit more context and even answered some of the questions that we talked about as far as mission impact, mission readiness, right? So a couple other things, and kind of fill in for me if I'm missing anything, Aaron. A couple other things that happened in the fallout from the assassination of Charlie Kirk was we had flags at half mast until Sunday at 1800. I don't remember from what day, but it was a few days. And then I also
on September 11th.
Yeah. So from then until then I also think he's getting he's either getting or received military honors.
I think they want him to be what they call it, interment in state, I guess, for the viewing.
Yeah.
I probably said that wrong.
Yeah, that's cool.
But I know like if that's true, but I know only elected officials and ambassadors and things like that. If I'm, not mistaken.
Yeah.
That's been discussed.
And then I've seen, just out of context, I've seen like pictures of him alongside Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and Jesus Christ and some other people that are considered as martyrs as well. And there's people that agree with this and there's people that disagree with this, right? Another thing that I learned was that this was a political assassination, right? I heard some content. I was listening to my guy, Mark Lamont Hill, on a podcast, and he was breaking down like the different meanings or whatever. And I'm like, well, have we had any other political assassinations this year? Yes, we did throughout the world, but have we had any other in the country? And we did. Melissa Hortman, her husband, and I think her dog, they were all killed in June in their home by a gunman who targeted another politician as well. But I didn't know anything about the death of Melissa Hortman until now. And again, you could blame my ignorance because again, I didn't know about.
I remember hearing it. I remember when they were murdered as well.
Yeah.
Also, from Pennsylvania, I forgot his first name. Is it the governor of Pennsylvania, Shapiro? He had someone try to bomb his house.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
So for
all this past months.
Yeah. So what is the, and maybe I don't know what, but I think we flew a half mast for some other politician that was assassinated before, like another lady. It was a while ago, but I don't know if we have a written, man. So I'm trying to think, like my CEO, something happened at my command. Somebody did something and my brand new CEO was like, one of the sellers came into work drunk. And my brand new, and like the way it was carried out, it was a lot of questions about how the chain of command handled it, right? The brand new CEO was like, hey, do we have anything in writing that kind of conforms us to a standard when sellers come in drunk? Because then we got something that'll hold us to something when things like this happen, right? Is it anything that conforms us to a standard when politicians or these social figures are assassinated? Or is it just level of, like, for lack of a better term, level of how much we care about that person?
So as far as us in a military standpoint?
No, just as a country.
Run a question back again, because I was thinking through a military lens, man.
Is it a standard to how we handle political assassinations? Is it a standard?
If you agree with them or not, that's how it's going to hit. That's what I think.
You talking about whoever's in office?
That could come into play.
Yeah.
But I think it's to the people, to that person, that community, like
how much we care. I mean,
how much you care based off of impact.
Yeah, because I mean, I think Dr. King's assassination weighed heavier than Medgar Evers.
True.
Right.
But you also had the same responses. You had some people who when Martin Luther King was assassinated, like, oh, good riddance.
Yeah. So,
like, I remember they showed a poll where at the time of his murder, he was one of the most unpopular people in the country.
Yeah. People had a lot of, but basically we got to the kind of the point where it's like, it's no stand. Well, we got to, I wasn't even trying to make, just asking, we don't know the standard of what happens when either politicians die or very prominent figures on a social scape. Is weighed by how much we care about whoever that person is, right? So Melissa Hortman probably wouldn't have gotten all of this because she wasn't as polarizing or popular a figure as Charlie Kirk, right?
Yeah, I mean, you think, no, but it's, the argument comes from this is an elected official who was assassinated.
Yeah.
When we talked before about murder versus assassin, and at first I was like, nah, I thought that only someone who held office would be considered assassinated they killed. But by definition, if you are a person of importance, whether by elected office or if you are a figurehead of a movement, ideology, and you're threatened, people view you as a powerful person for that, and you're killed, a targeted killing, that's an assassination.
Right.
Just remember where I'm going with this. So for Melissa Hortman, she was assassinated.
Yeah.
But because she was an elected official, many people felt it should have triggered this type of honors and mourning.
Yeah, but we don't know.
Discussion,
but we don't know what the standard is, right? That's pretty much the point.
There is a standard. The response or the official response based off her office.
Yeah, the official response. We don't know. Me and you are ignorant of the standard.
There is a standard set.
Yeah, but
usually you would think.
Yeah, was it carried out?
Think the half-mast.
I don't know. I ain't heard nothing about Melissa Hortman until now.
I followed it. I've seen it, and of course now people are talking about it more because it's the discourse now. If it was requested, if it wasn't requested, that's the discourse. But the conversation has been, it was brought up before the assassination of Charlie Kirk. That's how come it's being, because of that and how recent it was.
People comparing the response.
The people saying, "Oh, that's whataboutism," versus no, it's a relevant argument.
Yeah,
that's also part of discourse as well.
Yeah. So speaking on discourse, right? I took a deeper dive into the discourse of Americans and service members when things like this play out in the media, right? And then my deep dive, and when I say deep dive, is just a thought, right? I woke up in the morning and grabbed my phone as soon as I woke up. That's my deep dive. But so me personally, I think I need a crash course in what is and what's not politics. And I said this before, but I think a lot of people disguise things as politics. That's not. A lot of times I hear people talk about political opinion. I'm like, that's social, or that's racial, or that's, economic. That's not political at all. So I think I think we've now entered a gray area in what politics are and what social issues are.
A measles vaccination is now political.
Right.
When before maybe it would have been just a health thing. But now based off of how you feel about certain vaccines, to some people, they'll view your response initially as a political stance rather than a health stance.
Yeah. I mean, I would say now, like, Marvel movies are argued somewhere in this political sphere. like
I mean, if you have going back to Captain Vestal, right? If you decided one day you'll make a film, right?
Yeah.
And then you decide to cast your lead as a female. Let's say you have an action flick and your main protagonist is a female. Right?
Somebody would say I was making a political.
Oh, you're pandering.
Yeah.
Versus, nah, man, I wrote the character like this. It's like, why am I thinking about that Scarlett Johansson Morgan Freeman movie, Lucy?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that was written for a woman to, somebody be like, oh, why couldn't have been the dude? Like, no, I made a ploy on that Lucy, fossil and the first woman and all this, allegedly, was like, yeah, that's why.
Yeah. Another random question I got, right? And it, again, when you start thinking about assumptions people make and things that people think, why the hell did HBCUs get targeted?
I know why, but
well, let's talk about it. Why did
some people just want to blame? You get conditioned, you get brainwashed, and you think, oh, it came from, maybe they feel that an HBCU campus is more of a radical, left-leaning campus that spurred allegedly the shooter or the murder of someone, right? Of Kirk, right?
There's no way I thought, just to kind of cut in, there's no way I thought that a sniper came from an HBCU. That's just
that. I mean, there have not. I mean, there has not been a mass shooter who came from or one at HBCU. And this is me talking as a dad and as an uncle, because my son's there, my daughter's there, niece and nephew there, and my son at other college close by. Listen, man, just leave them alone, man. They're nothing. My son's 17 years old, about to turn 18 in a couple of weeks. He trying to figure out what's for pasta tonight. He ain't trying to do all this. He just wants to get education and not be annoyed by his roommate.
Yeah. So HBCUs were targeted by people that's been hungry, thirsting to target HBCUs. They've been looking for a fucking excuse to target HBCUs. That's what I think. So the first thing happened, they gonna go target a damn HBCU, right? And I even like, I was telling somebody, I'm like, yo, if we get to this point where people just start targeting random people, and what I mean by things are disguised as politics and not politics is it's a group of people, right? And maybe I'm on a ledge here, but it's some people that would think that I was left leaning just because I'm black, right? I'm not into politics. So when people go into their like, and I guess that was another precursor I wanted to give y'all, which y'all know if you listen to us, I ain't into politics. I think Aaron a little bit more dug into politics than me. But
I want to be informed.
Yeah, you're a little bit more informed than me. But like, I know it'd be a group of people like, hey, let's go attack the left. And like, they would just be looking for like blacks. And
I just want to say one thing. I just want to be informed, but also I just want to know the why of why a person feels this way, whether they're left, right, middle, all parts in between. So I want to make sure I put that out there.
And I know some people associate things with like just African Americans. I know some people associate things with LGBTQIA+. I know some people associate things with women and stuff like that. But sometimes you don't know until you know, till you talk to somebody and you know exactly, who they are, right? But yeah, so that was my whole thing. So that's why I think the HBCUs got targeted, because this guilty by association thought process that people have. Like, all right, let's go look for, and it's like, you go find a fucking HBCU. They not worrying about that stuff. And there, my nephew's at HBCU too. And I'm like, damn, what's going on? My question for you is, because we just spoke, right? And my question for you is, when you realize your friends have a different opinion from you, right? Does that bother you?
It does, like deeply.
Why? You want your friends to have the same opinion as you?
No. But it's more of, why would you, like this shock? Okay, I've had some friends who are like, why would you feel this way?
Right.
And I'm like, yo, did you really like see me and notice me? Like, do you really notice who I am?
Right.
And why I would have this belief with this stance? So it will bother me in that sense. If they come at me like, if it's something they act like, oh, that's so unexpected from you. I'm like,
yeah.
How is it if you truly knew me or know me? It'll bother me in that sense initially.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can dive into questions about how to move forward with a friend after, that kind of friction happens.
Yeah.
On both sides, if I see something with them as well.
I mean, whether I dive in or not, like, you tell me.
So the biggest thing you saw with everything that happened with Charlie Kirk and everything is people saying, oh man, my unfriend button has been on fire lately.
Right, yeah.
Right? So for me, I don't do that. It's far in between. I might unfollow, I'm not going to unfriend. For me, I think that's more based off of being in the military for 25 years and being trauma bonded and the chosen family aspect of us, right? When we say family, sometimes we all got that crazy uncle, that crazy, aunt or cousin that just has these outlandish viewpoints that might be contradictory to what you believe.
Yeah.
You don't quit your family. You might, the phrase love them from a distance. You might not talk to them as much. You might not engage with certain things with them.
Yeah.
You might exhaust a lot of means or just be like, I'm not going to engage with you and stuff because I love you. Right? But for me, like I said, I have people that poured into me as mentors, as close friends, and I have one protege in particular. I cannot stand their politics. But instead of the energy I would have towards putting an unfriend, unfollow, I'll put that towards all right, I'm not talk to you as much. Like, why do you feel that way? And maybe it'll change my opinion. Maybe it won't, but I'll have a different level of understanding. And I wish more of us would not trying to like deify myself. I wish more of us would have that stance. If this person is your family so much, like, why do you think that way? Now, if you want to be like, I can't deal with them because you are against my existence and how I live my life, I can't associate with that.
Yeah.
I don't fault them for that either. I fully understand that.
Yeah, we all different people with different journeys. And I think they should be considered. In every stance. And I think we need to have, and we'll get into it a bit later, but I think they should be considered. For example, I don't share the same beliefs as Teresa Carpenter, right? I just did her show a couple weeks ago. I don't share those same beliefs. I'm sure she knows that. I was fully prepared to have a conversation with her about different things. I can't necessarily say politics because somebody has swept me under the floor when it comes to politics because I'm not the politic person, but I'm a belief person. It's things I think about, but we didn't get to talking about that in the episode that we did talk about. But, I don't share those beliefs, but I'm still able to share a space with her. Even digitally, I'm still able to share a space. We could talk about things. We could talk about other things as well. And if prepared, we could talk about those other things, or if ready. I think sometimes we shouldn't get blindsided. Something happened on our platform a couple years ago where we were blindsided with a conversation that we just didn't expect to have and we didn't want to have. And I think when I was just on her platform, it was very responsible of her that we didn't have those conversations. But I would have been ready for it, and I was open to have it. And I think discourse like that needs to be had in an intelligent way. Where you could tell somebody something that they might have said or that you disagree with and why. And over the couple of weeks now, days now, my algorithm has been full of Charlie Kirk having discourse with people in colleges and different places where they were both. I mean, Charlie cut off people a couple times. I saw that. When they started hitting them with some shit, he would hit them with something. He would hit them with a little thing too. But I did see debate happening. But I think we need more of it.
Well, you do need more of it. But going back to how I try to engage or talk with family and friends, or in our case, more colleagues that don't agree with. Do you remember a couple years ago, it was very viral, just during President Obama's maybe second campaign. And he made a point to talk about information bubbles or information filters. You remember that?
I'm going to say I do, but I don't. But yeah. I'm sure it probably hit my radar, but my memory is horrible.
But he just made a point. It was a precursor to what we're doing right now, where he just said that if you do not make a concentrated effort to talk to people that you do not agree with, you are going to get an echo chamber.
Yeah.
And this is before social media it was in its infancy before it really took off. So I think with stuff like this and having the friends that you don't agree with, it gives you a unique opportunity for us in the military compared to civilians to intentionally pop that information filter, that haze, that the echo chamber you could be in.
Yeah. Yeah. Plus you need that different perspective. You need it.
But people don't do that. It's comfort. Change drives discomfort. And most of us, we do not want to be challenged.
Yeah. And that's a hard part about America that I'm about to get into right now. Well, the way some Americans think, not necessarily America. So all of this conversation led me to listen to an episode of Jocko's podcast. Another confessional. I don't listen to Jocko's podcast often, right? I don't. It's probably one podcast that I listen to more than anything else. And then everything else kind of comes and goes. I just added the Arbinger one, but outside of that, it's probably one. So I did listen to Jocko's episode, and he was the name. What's the name of this episode? It's called
Declared Hostile.
Declared Hostile.
It's a 25-minute video you released.
Yeah, so Declared Hostile. This is America, right? Or hostile, however you want to say it. So I listened to Jocko's episode, right, and he kept it neutral. He vaguely spoke about certain kind of like the conversation we having where it's not pointed in a certain direction. We just kind of talking. But his was a little bit more pointed toward a goal of his, right? And for me, just to be clear, my advocacy is for sailors and the permission to speak freely. Like, I'm serious. Like, that's the reason why we named this podcast that. So that is where my kind of advocacy lands. But I listened to Jocko's episode, right? He kept it super neutral. He dipped, and I'm sure he got relationships on each sides. He probably got sponsorships, deals, all types of stuff, right? But one of the things he did was he dipped back into the history of America and our founding fathers, right? And the reason why, and that was like the Revolutionary War era. And what he was trying to do was give like us as fellow Americans a come to Jesus moment. Like, we need to realize who we are, right? So I'm going to call this a motivational waypoint, right? Hey, this is the period that I need us all to harken back to so we can remember that we are Americans, right? America strong. And this ain't necessarily a slight at Jocko because he is a Navy SEAL and amongst other reasons, but some mistakes that I think we make as Americans at times, and I think Jocko did make it here, was, and this is my opinion, when I went back to where he wanted me to go back to, Revolutionary War era America, the thing that was right in my face was where I would have been in this time. And it's a big, a high chance that I would have been a slave, because in this era of America, African Americans were largely slaves with few exceptions. I don't even think they were calling us African Americans at this point in time. So, I think when people want us to reach back to those inspirational times, I don't think the inspiration hit the same for everybody when it comes to these motivational waypoints.
No. I mean, you got different points of reference, man. It's like, you ever heard about when Tom Brokaw said about the greatest generation?
Let's talk about it. Talk about it.
All right.
You just talk about stuff. Why you keep asking me? Hey, for the listeners, he tried to test me on this joint, man. He talking about Tom Brokaw. Tom Brokaw still alive, man? Like,
that's a good question, man. I don't know.
He tried to test me, man.
I mean, you more well-read, you let on, man. But I mean, the first time I heard Tom Brokaw talking about greatest generation was when Ricky Bobby, when his son was talking about Tom Brokaw my ass. I don't know, that was funny. Yeah, that's just... But then I looked it up and I was like, okay, he's talking about World War II being the greatest generation, right? But one of the books that, I reference all the time is like, how can you be the greatest generation but doing these great things overseas and fighting tyranny and all this, but we still had tyranny happening at home?
Yeah.
So to your point, it's like, hey, if this is a great point in time of history, it was great.
Yeah.
But it also had this. You could account for that and celebrate that and still be able to account for this.
Yeah.
And I think, with the point you're saying about Jocko, like, he could use that when he tried for reference, but just you try to be mindful that, it's not going to land the same way for everyone.
Yeah. It's not.
Right?
Yeah.
When we talk about 9/11, post 9/11, and how, man, the country was so unified.
Yeah.
Okay. You had a spike in domestic terrorism against Muslims and Sikhs. Even though President Bush said out the gate, that's an American, that's not your enemy. Right? So that's the kind of thing. It's like, you shouldn't try to like divide. You're trying to bring people together.
Yeah.
So just going back to Jocko's point, like, man, like, understand that you have to account. You can use your point. You probably got your fine print. You got to be like, you know what? It's not. It might not land this way for that particular section of our community, of our country.
Yeah. And that's where we got to come up for air at, to me, when it comes to us as Americans. We got to understand that everybody don't got that same waypoint.
We ain't built like that.
Everybody don't got that. And then, like, so who dictates these waypoints, right? Because some people would try to tell you certain things, like it's different things, like, hey, get over this. So I'm going to go back real quick. The January 6th incident, it was a noose hanging from somewhere, and it was in a picture. And I remember a black person who actually been on a podcast a couple times at this point, but pretty much had an issue with the noose being in the picture. And they were on social media. Actually, we talked about it on the episode. But they were on social media, and they had discourse with this person about the noose. And then the person was pretty much challenging their like intelligence and also telling them how they should feel about the noose, and that the noose represented high treason, right? It was a viewpoint of high treason. And that's why it was hanging out there, where maybe it was, right? But my whole point and my whole thought process was like, you cannot dictate to an African American how to feel about a noose. It does not represent high treason to an African American, right? It represents Jim Crow South. It represents a bunch of darkness that we remember. You know, I mean, like hangings and lynchings were distributed on postcards until like 1918 or something like that.
There's a documentary you can probably see it on Paramount Plus. Yeah. But it doesn't get discussed because why? Oh, it's ugly. Let's move past that. No.
Yeah.
I'm not saying you anchor on it. It's there. You learn from it. You don't learn the lessons from it.
Yeah, we can't invalidate. Like, you know, and I always like I got this whole thing, right? And you know, I'd be like, yo, if somebody came in your house and they took over and they took you from your house and they took you to their house and they, you know, raped your wife and like made you like do all this shit for like, how long would it take for you to get past this or like whatever, right? But and I'm not even really saying the whole thing, right? Because I don't feel like getting into it. But the question that I get up from all of those thoughts is like, is there an expiration date to the damage done by genocide, slavery, the Holocaust, and any of these other traumatic experiences that have happened to different people in the world? Like, do you think it's an expiration date for any of these things as far as dealing with the trauma? Because it's a lot of a thought now, like, hey, it's 2025 now. You didn't go through that. Like your ancestors went through that.
I don't think there's a expiration on, I don't want to say get over it, man. It's just because you weren't alive there, right? Or your ancestors weren't there, it was still passed on, right? Are you going to tell a Japanese person, hey, man, get over Hiroshima?
Right.
If they're in proximity to it? No. You never say get over the Holocaust. You should never say, you know, get over the effects of slavery or redline or anything like that, because it has effects.
Yeah.
Right? I'm even going to evolution kick, right? If you hear about the post-traumatic slave syndrome?
Yeah.
Right? Where they say like, yeah, right? Even in the wild, what drives evolution?
Yeah, and that's was the point that I was going to get to. Like our bodies, like depending on like where you grew up in the world, your bodies are conditioned based off of like things that happen in evolution. So you're molded in the things that we've kind of dealt with generationally. Like,
yeah, but some people will say the counterpoint. They'll say as well, why are you being a victim? Stop being a victim. And you might have some people like, I can't do this because it is. Like, no, it's account for it. Understand that it might have been a hurdle for your grandfather, your great grandfather. Yeah. It probably affected you now. Now you could take it, account for it, and continue to move and try to do things to change. Or you could just wallow in it. Like, no, you don't do that.
Yeah, and it's still like old boy was saying when it come to marriage, was like a storm comes through, it fucks shit up, and it never fully like it's never the same exact place that it was before.
You can have a scar.
Yeah, so it's still damage, you know, and you know, not to stick there too much, but a lot of these incidences, whether a lot of these things that's happened to different people throughout the world, like it wasn't a lot of repair, especially coming out of like, of course, slavery, right? Like it wasn't that much repair from slavery until like that's just like bootstrap shit. Like you figure something out, get it, and like that's it. So, and then even when we talking about like, you know, expanding the conversation to getting over it, right? Emmett Till, right? So it's markers and like the places in Mississippi where different things happen to him, right? So his markers where he was like picked up, where he was stolen from the family, just all the different things that happened to him, right? Where he got abused and different things. It's like these markers. And they've been vandalized like over the years. From what I saw before, like they were vandalized annually. So now in response, they made them shits bulletproof, camera monitor. Well, a few of them are. One of them is bulletproof, camera monitored, and stuff because of these attacks, right? So now the vandalism has finally went down. But that was all the way going up to like 2019, where people were still vandalizing memorial sites for Emmett Till.
So I'm gonna quote my guy Rev for this, right? He says it's better to ask a question than make a statement sometimes. Why would Emmett Till's markers and memorial sites be shot? Why?
Yeah.
You can't answer that, but
I'm not.
Why? Why?
Yeah.
Why would that need to be bulletproof? Why?
Yeah.
And just leave it like that.
Yeah. And we just got a report of 2 men found hanging in. And these are like association things, right?
In 2025.
Yeah. 2 men found hanging in Mississippi.
With broken appendages.
Well, a friend of mine, a friend I went to school with was found hanging in like the Pennsylvania area a while ago. And then we never found the cause of his death or nothing like that. But this Mississippi, I don't think we trust Mississippi police, right? And he's not 2 black guys. It's like a black guy, and I think the other guy is he's not black. He's not African American. I could tell you that.
Mm-hmm.
But I just think people start to put all these, again, the way the media works, the way it all works. Everybody thinks all this stuff is connected. You got a mass shooting at a homeless encampment in Minneapolis that I think people are somehow going to associate to the fallout of some of this stuff too, right? And Jocko also brought up the downside of the algorithm. And I think, again, all of these association things kind of come from that. And one of the things I did think about, again, kind of going back a little bit to Charlie Kirk is, if I didn't control clips, right? So a lot of the argument for some of the things that are negative is that like people didn't see the whole thing in context, right? So that make me think about myself. If I didn't control our clips, sometimes that could happen too, right? So I understand that. And I'll give an example, like the Josh Mackey clip where we were talking with Josh about having a first class that had like all the checks in the box and you telling them that they're going to make chief and then they don't make it. It's in reality, right? It's a harsh thing and it's not necessarily sad. I mean, funny. In reality, right? It's a sad predicament to be in, is bad. But I mean, we've had comedians, have bits about worse things than that where you could see the humor in it. And a lot of time the humor is just because it's a real thing and it's relatable and everybody been there before. So, we put out the clip, and when we put out the clip, we was like kikiing, right? Like giggling in the clip. Some people took the giggle kiki as we think that that's funny, right? It got to a point where I just took the clip down because I was just tired of that, like just tired of that communication about it. Where it's like, of course we don't think it's funny. It's sad. It's fucked up, but it's funny that came up in that, conversation because we all been through it before. We've even been on the side where somebody told us we were going to make it and, we didn't make it, so we like laughing and for the sake of crying, you know what I mean? So, but yeah, so and you posted something about social media too recently.
Yeah, I just, for some I nerd out, I kind of went to that analogy about Thanos in Infinity War.
Yeah.
Where he was like, reality could be whatever I want.
Yeah.
I think that's what the algorithm does. It gives you the ability to cater reality to whatever you want it to be.
Yeah.
But the thing is that it because of how we are and how media runs, you won't be able to get the truth unless you actually seek out the truth.
Yeah. And that was some of Jocko's point too. I think it was moving in a different direction than your point, but that was some of his point too, is that social media is just giving people this reality. And sometimes it could be Twilight Zone-ish. Like, this ain't it really. Like, and
it's not.
I think it's a nasty place right now. We in this era where people are doxing people. Like, people just exposing people or sending things to people's, like, this the first time where like it's people sending things to people's jobs, getting people fired. Like we talked about Tamo in the beginning, but this is happening in a large scale, Like, you post something, somebody gets you fired, but boom. And unassociated parties too, not people that work at your job. It's just people that's like, yo, I'm gonna get this person fired. I'm gonna reach out to their job, boom, boom, boom. And it's just happening. Sometimes it happens for the right reasons, but sometimes it happens for the wrong reasons. But we just in this era where now this is happening, yo. And to me, I think it's just a nasty place to be in, bro.
I think we're gonna be here for a while, man.
Yeah, it's only gonna get worse. It's not gonna get better. It's only gonna get worse. What's up?
I think we've been there before social media. Just social media just amplified.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean,
it amplifies.
The 24. It was the 24-hour news cycle before that.
Yeah,
and then before that, yeah, you'd have certain newspapers with a certain high level of circulation.
Yeah,
you might have somebody throwing out pamphlets in a major city. And that pamphlet goes viral. It's kind of the same effect of like sharing something on social media, but the speed of light of motion with these smart devices, that's what drives it.
Now, here's the difference, right, between the 24-hour news cycle. And I could be wrong, right? I'm going off of something I read. I think it was the Boston Marathon that was the first time that civilians were involved in the media, the journalistic efforts of, I actually learned this in college. I read about it in college. Civilians were super involved in journalistic efforts. Like Twitter, and this was a big, Twitter moment too, where during that Boston Marathon, people on the ground were having information and like putting out details about the shooter and things that like the media or law enforcement didn't even get to yet. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Now we in this multiply version of that where, even like the Drake Kendrick beef, like it's people digging up dirt, like just fans digging up dirt on each artist and reaching out to law enforcement and, things of that nature. We shared a clip before that people added the Secretary of Defense, and like, to like, hey, do something about this. That was one of the clips that I had with Bill Houlihan. But like people force Houlihan for the uninitiated. But yeah, people had like, hey, do something about this. I had to wind up muting the clips, not because I didn't like the discourse, but because I don't need they added damn near everybody, the head of the FBI, like this, but that's where we are now, is we at this place where people are so easy to access. And there's people out there that will go, digging up dirt on Kendrick because him and Drake got beef, like going through his legal process. I think that's a little bit too intense as just a social media user. But that's where we are, So to kind of close this out, I want to kind of close out on the leadership aspect and feedback, right? So, my question is, we moving at a rapid pace, right? But what direction are we moving at? And I brought this up a while ago, and I was talking about feedback, right? And I guess my question is, what happens when we as leaders make feedback wrong? And I think we kind of move in Twilight Zone-ish, right? Because we've worked our way into developing ourselves to be open to criticism, right? We've evolved to that point as leaders. We got the digital CO suggestion box. We got the Docs. We got all types of things that open space for our sellers to give the CMC, the XOC, the CMC and the CO feedback, right? It's a feedback loop. Hey, this could be better, whatever. I'm sure that the CNO as well I know for sure that the CNO is definitely going to take those feedback and have those conversations as well. But, my question is that an all around a board thing, or does that feedback stop? Do we get to a point where as military service members, no matter what position in leadership you are, that you better seen and not heard?
So you're asking, are we moving to a place, or are we in a place where people are just like, no, I'm not going to say anything. I'm just going to shut up and paint. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
we will get to that point, I think, regrettably. I mean, but then again, I don't think that, because this generation of sailor, they're bold. They'll make their voices known.
Yeah, you're right about that.
Like, that picture I just sent you before we went on, that level of boldness, you know what I'm saying? That's unheard of. Kind of got me with this one, man.
Yeah. I mean, it might be more of a statement than a question. I mean, for me.
I mean, all right. So if you look at ELD, it's, as an example, it kind of tries to breed into a sailor, hey, you have to be able to speak up. You know yourself, and then you can speak. And you have to do that, and you're empowered to do that. Maybe there's some people in certain leadership positions where they just, hey, do what I told you because I told you. Not more old school.
Yeah.
I don't have to give you feedback. Your feedback is, I'm higher ranking and I told you to do it. That's your feedback.
Or maybe it is feedback, but we don't know or see it. I remember in the beginning of the year when a lot of things were changing, and they were changing fast, right? And when they were changing, people were confused about things and saying certain things that just wasn't the right thing. But people were complying because they couldn't think of anything else, right? So, for example, the Tuskegee Airmen being removed from the training in the Air Force, right? Nobody ever ordered that to happen. It was a confusion, and nobody, well, to a certain extent, I don't know the facts, but at some point, it got to a point where that was actually removed from the curriculum, right? I don't think that should have happened. I think it should have got to a point where somebody was like, hold up, let's talk about this. Let's talk for a second. I get it. We got this order. Let's have a conversation. Because I think it was recanted pretty soon after. So, I mean, that's kind of my thought process there. And I don't think we should ever get to a point where we can't provide critical feedback, whether positive or negative, whether considered or not considered. I don't think we should get to a point where we can't speak at all, or we don't feel like we have the permission to speak freely.
You got to be empowered to speak. If you're not empowered, the support to do it, you're not.
Yeah, people just gonna stop. And there's some quote, I forgot it, where it's like, if you never take, feedback, then you become somebody that people just don't talk to. Which leads me to my last question here. I'm reading a book. It's called Military Culture Shift. I'm not going to review the book because I'm not finished yet. But it was a conversation in there about the difference between leading and commanding. Do you think it's a difference between leading and commanding?
Yes. Leading versus commanding. All right, so leading is more of, you're in charge, you're appointed in charge, you're important leadership. They want to follow you. You're empowering. Hey, I'm at the forefront. I'll take the blame. I'll platform you. I'll take the hits. I'm going to be at the forefront with you. Commanding is more of, I'm telling you where you're going to go. I'm commanding your will.
Yeah.
Whereas leading is, I'm influencing your will to do something.
Yeah.
That's my answer on the 17th of September. That's how I think of leadership versus leading versus commanding.
Yeah, I agree. And that's kind of where the book was getting at too. I agree. My pick of the week. So again, like I said, we don't do book of the week anymore. We do pick of the week. And this week, I'm not going to do a book. I'm going to do the Jocko Willink podcast, Declare Hostile, This is America. It's short. It's 25 minutes. It's worth listening, especially for a content creator that want to try their best to talk about something, but still try to stay neutral talking about it. And then it might make you, what's up?
No, it's tough.
And then it might make you think about some stuff. It was things about it, of course, that I didn't think was that great. But, so I'm not necessarily recommending it because I think it's great. I don't think it's the Shawshank Redemption or not like that. But I'm recommending it because I think it's just something to listen to, right? For context. So I think he did do a good job staying neutral, but I also think he prepped. It felt like a sermon to me. He delivered it like a sermon, it was even some parts in there that I knew were written. I knew he took his time and he thought about some stuff. He had a couple things like about like, it was like words that matched each other with letters and stuff like that. But he also started with a allegory, I guess you want to say, about something that had to do with a time that they needed somebody to be declared hostile to execute this person. And then he kind of circled it all back to where he was getting at. But I think he did a really good job walking that line and not kind of giving his opinion on what side he leaned on. So that's my pick of the week.
You want to make one for me, or
do you have
no?
one? This might be the realest episode. Aaron looked tired. Like, I know he got a phone call before we started that changed his whole vibe. Like,
hey, CMC stuff, man. Some personal stuff. Nah, I'm rock with that. The Jocko for the point of reference, man.
Yeah.
Maybe my pick of the week is what you said. To the point you made about that is just we all got different reference points, and if we do have different reference points, that does not mean you need to excommunicate the person because they share a difference of opinion. You could stand 10 tones down. I don't agree with you, but just ask the why.
Yeah.
Why do you feel that way? Okay, I think you're crazy, but I know why you feel that way. You know,
I think you meant to say that was your do better.
Okay, I'll run with it.
I mean, because pick of the week is a material, like a piece of content, like a book, movie, something like that, right?
Maybe you edit that. Make that the do better. It's my do better.
I edited it.
My do better is just pop your information filter, man. Hack your algorithm, shake it up.
Yeah.
Have some good arguments.
All that sound pause worthy. Pop your information filter, hack your algorithm, shake it up. That's all.
Hey, my message give me crap like, hey, Aaron, you a social media influencer. No, I'm not.
Damn, you're a social media influencer already?
Because I had 2 Navy viral clips of you during season. I saw you, man. Like, all right, cool. You're an influencer? No, I'm not.
Yeah,
Ernie? No, I'm not. Ivan. Say their names too.
Are you influential?
We all are.
Are you on social media?
Not like that, no. Oh, what do you mean? Like as an influencer on it?
I'm asking if you on social media.
Not like I used to.
You on a whole fucking podcast on clips and everything. You on a hey, I had to accept it. You got to accept it. All right, here's my do better. We need to be able to come to the table and speak to each other and consider each other's points. That's my do better, plain and simple. I'll get into a personal story to close out the podcast of why that's my do better. And I'm going to get kind of specific here. My mom made a post about some back in the day stuff in her life. Like she made a post about some back in the day stuff. It was literally, it was about kids opening up the fire hydrant being open and like getting splashed in the fire hydrant in the city back in the summer when it was hot. And she was just reminiscing on it. One of my cousins who's a little younger, he got very critical of her post because it was made in AI. It was made with AI. But that wasn't, so he was like critiquing the AI, like, his love AI. And, I couldn't read what my mom said back because she deleted some of it, I guess, because she wasn't too happy with the way he was going in the post. But like, he just got super critical. Like, this person arm isn't here and like just all this stuff. So it was like this thing between him and her. And I didn't understand why he would go on her post and even have that kind of conversation with her when she just having a joyous moment with, my mom is almost 70, right? So she's just having a joyous moment with the people of her age group. She don't necessarily care if the picture that she's sharing is AI or not, because it's not necessarily about that. It's about the water in the summer and the fire hydrant and stuff like that. It don't have nothing to do with it being AI or not. It's not from her youth. It's just the picture that she shared. So I reached out to him on Facebook Messenger, and I told him, hey, I don't know that she gets the joke. I knew he was coming from a humorous standpoint, like a funny place, but I didn't think she got the funnies. So I reached out to him. He didn't respond to me, but he then did a sub tweet on Facebook. It was a sub post, and he brought up the fact that people was messaging him, and that honestly, that kind of frustrated me. I'm like, that's my cousin. Like, why you can't respond to me in the message? Because I don't really be on Facebook like that. Like, why can't you respond to me in a message, but you hitting this whole sub thing on your Facebook, on your timeline? While all of this was happening, my brother was also responding to him too. Me and my brother, two different people. My brother was responding a whole lot hotter than me. Like, yo, check your temperature. Yeah, like it was a whole thing with him and my brother. So I think I do consider the fact that he might have considered my efforts and my brother's efforts to be the same. They were completely different. But he never had a conversation with me. So him and my brother shit went on for like a day or two. I wound up coming back in his messenger, and I sent him a message, and this time it was a voice message, so I could get my full point across. And it was, hey, I love you. I got no smoke. This ain't even about that. I just want you to understand that I don't think she sees your joke. Like, I don't think she, gets your joke, and a whole bunch of, just from that standpoint, he ain't even take the time to listen to it. Like, he ain't even take the time to consider, the point that I was, and like, he got like this rule that if it's on social media, I could just do, I believe he has a rule like, hey, if it's on social media, no holds barred, I could just do and say whatever I want. There's no rules of social media, joke. However, my mom don't live by that, that governance system on social media. She damn near 70. She don't have that same ideology as you. And I was just trying to have a conversation with him about it, to tell him that so he could see it. Now, however you respond, so you could disagree, you could do whatever. He didn't even have the discourse. He didn't even have the fucking conversation with me. And I think that's the frustrating part, man. And I hope to be able to, if you're listening right now, I hope to be able to talk to him about it soon, just so he can understand that. So that is what really frustrated me. And that came from a family like blood, a whole family member,
Just love him with distance, man.
No, I don't want to though. I want to love them. It's my, hopefully, we see each other. I'm already loving them from a distance. I mean, we already.
Yeah, you got to diffuse and then maybe you can revisit, but I'm not trying to give you solutions, man. My fault.
No, it's cool, bro. You solution based, man. You a CMC, bro. You know what I mean? You solution based.
All the time, man. I'm Aaron first.
Yeah, you solution based. Now, like, we already we don't talk a lot now. So when I do see him though, I just want to have that conversation with him. Like, yo, bro, I never had like no smoke for you or no. Because I saw him mention like beef when he was talking to my brother, but he keeps saying y'all. I don't got no problem with you. That's my brother that you gotta go through that with. Like I don't got no issues with you. I just want you to know she ain't going along with the joke. My mom just texted me. She said that Jimmy Kimmel, she probably wrong. I think she said Jimmy Kimmel got fired. He beefing with the president. But I don't know. She might be wrong on that.
You never know.
Yeah, but that's that, y'all. I kept Aaron for damn near 3 hours. He looked beat, y'all. He looked super tired. We're gonna talk about it when we stop recording. He looked super tired, man. I don't know what's happening.
I'm good, man. I'm good.
But hey, love y'all, and hopefully, this conversation mattered to somebody here. All right, peace out.